From the beginning, the divine feminine has always been. She is the great mother, the origin from which all life stems. All praise the most high. The royal is a meter, the royal is a meter, the royal is a meter. Tall panel podcast. The royal is a meter, the royal is a meter, the royal is a meter. Tall panel podcast. Two sisters doing the work of the most high. On a mission to be the voices of the unheard. We doing a new thing in the earth, as it was written in Jeremiah 31 and 22. We were called from our mother's wombs. We both just want to say thank you to our higher power. Shalom. We on a mission, setting examples for our people. Pray to God every day.
Just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us for another conversation on the Royal Meetup Talk Panel podcast. We know you could be doing anything today, but we're glad that you joined us. Um, First and foremost, I just want to say that in these conversations, sometimes we have people with, varying opinions, people from different beliefs and backgrounds, but just remember that no matter what it is, let's keep it respectful. Um, we want to thank you and welcome you for joining us. We would like for everyone to introduce themselves, but before we do that, we are people of faith, and so no matter what the conversation is, we believe in starting everything with prayer. So if you don't mind, I'm going to have our other host, Sister Rafaela, to open us up with a quick prayer before we start this conversation.
Peace and love, everybody. How you doing out there?
All right.
All praises to and esteem to the Creator who created everything. And we thank you all for your time. We thank you all for chiming in. We're gonna go ahead and start off the prayer with the Master's Prayer. I'm gonna start it off with Hebrew, and then I'm gonna come behind it and translate it into English. All those who can and will, sisters, if you could cover your heads, that if you can and will. All esteem. Hallelujah. Abanawa Shabashamayam, Kadash, Haya, Shamka, Ahaya, Malakwaka, Baba'a, Ratazawanka, Haya, Aishaba, Rataza. Kawahaya Bashamayam, Nathan Lanawa, Lakam, Kayawan Wasalaknawa. Kawawa Nawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawawa Yanawa. Wala Ada Baya Anawa, Bana Sayawan, a ball, Hawashai. Nawa Man Rai, Kayalaka. Hamalakwa, Waha Allah, Waha Dapala, Lah Awalam, Yam. Our Father which is in the heavens, we thank you. Our Father which is in heaven, heavenly be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us into temptation. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, and forever. In spirit and in flesh, so be it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, so again, like I said, you are very welcome. We're going to do some introductions and then I'm going to let you know what this discussion is all about. So, I'm just going to call you out randomly as I see you. Um, First and foremost, you don't have your name on there, but it says Samsung. I believe that's Mike.
That's it. Big Mike. M Rock, the homie M Rock.
That's how that'll be. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today?
Man.
Okay.
And then, of course, I am Princess Ada. I am the co-host of the Royal Meetup. And next to me, we have our other host, Sister Rafaela. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Keep forgetting about that. Salakia, everybody. Yeah, so everybody, I'm Rafaela Yashirala, originally from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised. I live in other various parts of the country. I'm a mom to 3 adult children. I'm a wife. I'm a published author, social media influencer, healthcare. I have a career in healthcare, entrepreneur, owner, and the CEO of Truth Over Traditions Corporation and Donata LLC. And I'm just your sister and humble. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next, we have Zachary Bailey.
Hi, how you doing? Shalom. What's going on, sister?
Long.
Yeah, so I'm I'm actually my sister's all the way down there, Ole. Courtney, that's my older sister. She invited me out to this meeting. I understand it's gonna be a concept about hip hop. I'm in that space because I'm like an underground hip hop producer and a rapper, and I also work with other artists down there in this space. So I know our perspectives may vary, depending on, opinions and stuff like that. But I do the best I can, if there's a discussion I can be able to, contribute. Um, just try to have open ears, so
Okay, thank you so much.
so
You're welcome. Next, we have Big Weeble.
Hey, what's happening? My nickname is
Long.
Shalom, everyone. My nickname is Big Weeble. Uh, I was asked to speak on hip hop because my mother was a DJ uh, back in Alabama, and there's actually a picture floating around of my mother pregnant with me behind some turntables. Back then, they had the old 45 records. It was probably about big as a saucer at your dinner table, and uh, she took us. Her and Daddy split up. I grew up in Southern California, LA County, San Bernardino County, and I used to DJ in high school. So I remember what hip hop was in the West Coast. And as far as what it became, my opinion, hip hop don't exist anymore compared to what I remember it to be. So I was just on here to give my little opinion and really to came on here to just to see if anybody was going to push and point fingers at the where it started to change and where it got bad. Because recently, I think it was a has-been rapper, Special Ed, had went on a podcast somewhere and tried to blame all the negativity on NWA. Well, if you know the history of music, you will know that certain things was happening back in the 70s. Uh, NWA didn't come out to 88. And there was things happening in the 70s on record that some would deem to be negative. So I was just here to share my little wisdom and input on that if it came to that.
All praises.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, next we have the Plant Lady.
Shalom, sister.
Shalom, everyone. Peace and blessings. My name is Sister Tangia Taylor, and AKA the Plant Lady, because I'm here to plant seeds of change, and I am grateful to be a part of this podcast today to talk about hip hop and where it has where it was and where it has gone, and it's good to see all of you.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Next we have Sister Ola.
Shalom, everybody. Good to see everybody.
Shalom, Sister Ola.
Good to everybody. I'm also glad to see my wonderful younger brother, baby of the family.
All
It's
right.
a curriculum to be here today to talk about hip hop. As most of us on this panel, we grew up with it. That was our beacon of hope. That was our poetry. And going down the line, it got kind of poisoned. That's what, like many things that we do when we desegregate ourselves with other people, they start tampering things they ain't supposed to be tampered with. But I hope and pray that it will become back where it once was. Positive music about our people, about community, the Black family. It would be nice to hear that again. So good to be here.
Indeed.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank
And last but not least, we have David.
Shalom, family.
Shalom, brother.
I am the one and only Raul, R-A-U-O-V, conscious hip hop artist, streaming on all platforms. I started rapping at the age of 48. My motto is never too late. I ain't gonna go too deep on my bars, but they overweight. Yeah. So, going through life and being rejected as a teenager and wasn't allowed to join rap groups and all this stuff, it's easy to give up and quit. So I want to be that example of anything that you set your mind to and you don't quit just because people tell you to quit and situations tells you to quit, but it's something inside of you and you got a higher purpose. You're being used by the Most High. So I want to appreciate my journey. So I'm 53 now, and already UOB Raul been doing pretty good and connecting with people, from the spirit, that spirit inside you that carries this vessel around. You'll be surprised what happens when you yield to it. And I want to thank the Most High, because on this part of my journey, learning the ancient way and my birthright, I just so happen to have Sister Rafala as a personal mentor. So I want to thank the Most High for placing her on my path. So as I learn my birthright and the ancient ways and all that, I just want to be able to create something that will inspire and uplift people no matter what they're going through. So, and I like my man that's on here that got the history of rap, and he was talking about that rapper that was bitter. We grew up hearing him, so it's interesting that he has that type of insight. So that just goes to show that the Most High got a hand in what's going on right now in this platform. So I want to thank y'all for fostering that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just learned the difference between rap and hip hop. The Most High has
Yeah.
me around some people that are pretty deep in the industry that you wouldn't expect to be around, especially if your talent is just developing. It's a whole lot to being an artist. It's not just as easy as most people think it is. So I'm humble. I'm learning, and I'm just thankful for whatever come my way. I'm thankful for the positive beings that are placed in my life, and even the negative ones, because I'm gonna turn you into a good, fun thing. So yeah, that's me.
Pretty much.
I'm Raul, man, and it's like you can see a hundred conscious rappers.
All right
100
now.
I'm looking for everybody to join me on that and create their own branch in their own city and make 100 conscious rappers in your city, and we'll really change the construct. Thank y'all for allowing me the time, and I appreciate it.
We
Shalom.
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
So long,
Shalom.
Zach.
So be
Shalom.
it and con. You feel me?
We just had one more person join. It says Ron.
iPhone.
Would you like to introduce yourself? I don't know if they can hear me.
He's on mute. You on mute, Ron's iPhone.
Well, maybe he'll chime in a little later. Okay, so we've got our introductions out the way, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's just start with this before we can get into where it has landed us as of present day. We got to go back to where it first started. Okay, so there was a debate sometime going on the internet with Fat Joe and some other people saying where hip hop even started. You know what I mean? Was it FBA? Was it Latinos? Da 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 da. Right. So let's kind of touch on the origins a little bit before we go a little deeper. So is anyone here knowledgeable on the origins of hip hop? Because it might be a little older than we think. Hip hop has been around long before it was called hip hop. We've been having that rhyme and reason. I mean, I've seen videos from the 30s and beyond where folks was like rapping, but they were talking in rhyme, but to the beat. You know what I mean? So hip hop, before it was hip hop, has really been in our culture a long time. So would anybody here like to speak on the origins of it?
Well, you had cats like Eddie Jefferson, the old jazz cat. There's been a few cats that did like what we call as hip hop. That's what they were doing. They were rapping, but I mean, to where it became hip hop, where it became like a street thing, was more like late 60s, early 70s, with cats like the Last Poets and all them. A lot of people don't know about the Last Poets, because Last Poets used to talk about some real revolutionary type stuff. So they kind of got swept under the rug. And they were like way before the Sugar Hill Gang and all that good stuff.
Oakland.
Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we see you,
we can see
Ron.
you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick?
My name is King Bay. I'm an ambassador from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Welcome.
How you doing?
All right.
All right.
All
Thanks
praises.
for having me.
I have a question. Who all on here are rappers?
I used to. Well, I used to be one, but I guess you can still call me a rapper.
Okay. Well, I know David is a rapper,
But
and
actually,
Leroy is a rapper.
I'll probably be
me
called
and,
an
me, and,
artist.
me and Big Weevil used to turn parties out once upon a time.
Yeah, back in Cali. Yeah, back in
Back
like
in the day, we'd turn the party out.
89,
Yeah.
89 to 92. I had my Technique 1200s, a coffin. I had about 18, 19 crates of records. You know what I'm saying? But to answer that first question, we got to differentiate between hip hop and rap. They are two different things, especially nowadays.
Well,
You
break
know,
down
Yeah.
the
for
science for us.
in my opinion, okay, the if you were to say hip hop was a culture, part of that culture would be rap. Okay, and when you look at rap, when you look at, let's say, the Sugar Hill Gang, the hip hop, a hibbit to the hibbit, that was different than broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the stage like it just don't care. You know what I'm saying? That was what some people call gangster rap. To me, that was reality rap. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because some of the things that these people rapped about, some of us lived, and
Mm-hmm.
some of us
Mm-hmm.
is still here on this side of the walls to talk about it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
True that.
You know for fact, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Some of the homies that we grew up with is dead. Some of them is doing triple life, and
Some of
some of
life
them
what
is
happened.
there, and some of them there because they was trying to act out what they heard. So you know what I'm saying? If I was to say hip hop as a culture, okay, there's no denying. You know, uh, we didn't know about Adidas's with no laces until we heard Rock Box or King of Rock. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
on the West Coast anyway. Y'all might have been doing that on the East Coast, but by the time it got to us and we had a voice and we got to be being heard. I mean, don't get it wrong, we had pioneers too. You know what I'm saying? Too Short drop Don't Stop Rapping in '83. Long before Two Live Crew or anybody else was doing that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you gotta look and as far as, let's say, hip hop on the West Coast, what it was to us, it pretty much was a boom box, some cardboard box flattened out on the concrete, or if you was lucky, somebody had some linoleum that y'all could really get your backspin on. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, but that's what I remember hip hop to be. Maybe tagging on the wall. I mean, we used to see Chaka on bridges and on the wall. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And
Hmm.
I remember you would see, it was Chuck D and all them. You know that was a hip hop thing to us. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And our style of rap was a part of hip hop as well for us. You know, some people try to say that that ain't hip hop. Well, like I said, if hip hop is a culture, rap is a part of it, but that's a different part of it. You dig what I'm
Right.
saying? You
Hmm.
know
But
what I'm saying?
it might have
Exactly.
had started before that though, because we're American Indians. So even in how they praised and danced with the hey yeah 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 yeah, all the cadences, it might
Oh
not
well,
be a
yeah.
Well,
rhapsody
exactly.
word where we're using exact English because English is our slave masters
Well, I hear
language.
you. If we
So
talk about
the first time I
music,
actually saw
yeah.
rap though, the first time I actually saw it and I knew what it was in a kung fu movie where uh
Yeah.
they were doing puppets for the kids, and the
Uh,
dude that was the orchestrator of the act of the theater, he was actually rapping in a certain cadence with the Asian music. So rap has been around since we've been here.
yeah,
We
rap. There was rap
communicate
before there
through
was hip
raps.
hop.
Well,
Yeah,
there was
I'm
rapping
with
Right.
in
you.
Africa.
I mean,
You know what?
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
It
So
was
it goes
actually
back.
a group back in the 40s of four men that was the first official rappers, and I can't remember their name. Do anybody in here can recall who their names are?
That's for my time,
40.
sister.
Yeah, in the 60s. Yeah,
Like the
they was
doo wop
considered
crew.
the first rappers. And I tell you, I cannot, I have to do some research real quick and see if I could dig them up while y'all talking about this.
Well, I was just saying,
But
if we were to define hip hop, rap is a part of it. Hip hop as a whole, I don't necessarily know where it started, but I know when hip hop as a whole, came our way. You know what I'm saying? On the West
we
Mhm.
gotta
Coast.
The
understand
argument
that
is
we
that hip
didn't.
hop started in the East Coast, like
It
I
did.
think Bronx or
It
Brooklyn,
did.
the
It
It
did
did.
culture of
start in
hip
the
It
East
hop.
did.
Coast.
It
There's
did.
no argument. It did start there.
Yeah, the Mecca is the East Coast, but we
Yeah.
didn't name it. We didn't name hip hop. Uh, 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 journalist who was
The
trying to
industry
figure
named
out
it hip hop. They
what it
called it
was
hip hop.
called was the one who coined the phrase hip hop, just like jazz and rock and roll. We never named our talents. It was
I
somebody
found
who
it.
tried to monetize it, was the
The
one who put the
Jubilaires.
labels on it.
Hey, children, stop still and listen to me. God walked down to the briny sea. He declared the aim of the Son of Man, and then he decided to destroy the land. He spoke to Noah. Noah, stop. He said, Noah, I want you to build me an ark. I want you to build it 3 cubits long. I want you to build it big and strong.
See
The
what I'm
We
saying?
Jubilees.
found it.
Yeah, we don't really own rap or hip hop because we're talking in a native tongue. So whoever's tongue, the English people own hip hop because we're speaking in English. They own it. The Jewish people who cultivate and monetize the word hip hop, they
Well, see,
own
remember
it.
in the early
We're
80s,
just doing it. We're just
in the early 80s, it was
exercising
called rap music.
our
Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
it to be rap before hip
In the
hop.
yeah.
early 80s, it was
That's
called
because
rap music.
we
When it
was
first,
from the
rap
West
music.
Coast.
yeah,
In
it
the
was
West
called rap
Coast,
music.
that's what we called it. We
Yeah,
never really called it hip hop on the
Hip
West
hop,
Coast.
yeah.
it
Yeah,
It's
was
we
called
called
never
rap
rap
called
music.
it hip hop. And quite frankly, and let me just put this out there. Like I said, I came on here with a little a mind state because I'm not a social media person, but I did hear about what that dude said, and I'm gonna tell you right now, as far as the first person to call our sisters the B word that I remember, that happened in '72. There was a movie that came out in '72. Uh, Superfly. Curtis
Yeah.
Mayfield did a song called "I'm Your Pusher Man." I'm your mama. I'm your daddy. I'm your in the alley. And I think it was the second verse. It was
Hmm.
in 1972. This movie, and this wasn't the case of just an independent thing that didn't go further than the city or the hood or whatever. This
Hmm.
was a movie, Superfly. And this movie was coast to coast, and the soundtrack was coast to coast, and the artist was Curtis Mayfield. The song was "I'm Your Pusher Man," and I believe it was in the second verse.
music.
Uh,
Oh,
he
let's
said
dance.
baddest B
Let's
words
just
in the
dance.
bed.
Let's dance. Yep.
Yeah, he was talking about our sisters, and then so that's where that started. You can't blame that on rap because it was already happening. You can't blame certain things on West Coast rap because it was already happening. People say the Two Live Crew was just explicit. Well, you got to think. What year did Rap Dirty come out by Blowfly? Some of y'all know who Blowfly is. Clarence Reed. That came out in 1980, long before Too Short even brought out 83. And people say the West Coast, they did the negative thing. Well, hold on. Criminal Minded, KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions. Criminal Minded came out in 80, what?
Yeah,
Three,
he
four?
talking mad about drugs and killing and all that
Yeah, they was
in a
talking about
criminal.
that. Yeah, and NWA didn't come out until 88, 5 years later. So,
Yeah.
something happened
What about
in hip hop that made
Scooby
it a
Doo?
finger pointing thing, and there was a division thing that happened, and then we went from us. I just want to say this: we went from khakis and t-shirts to skinny jeans and pill popping. I don't know how that happened.
Well, we know now that Crazy Bone broke that down when he was in a meeting with the executives and the people from the jails and the CIA. They knew
Hmm.
that hip hop was a positive frequency, and they got together and they created a different narrative because they wanted to fill the prisons and control the narrative that we
I got
created. So they created gangster rap, or they fueled it, just like they're doing today with Sexy Red and Carly B. These huge organizations get behind a certain rapper that they can control, and then they push the narrative because they know how powerful the frequency of hip hop is. So even back then, I mean, even everything was created, by the Jewish. So they're the ones that created the chitlin circuit and all the performing and all that. So they are the ones that kind of control the narrative of what we call hip hop. So they're
Well,
behind all of the negative hip hop, the weaponized hip hop, the drill hip hop, anything that's positive. They knew that Tribe Called Quest and Brand Nubian and that camp was it was a huge influence on the children. Children were going to college and we were doing positive things, and that's breaking down the American structure. So they took hip hop and they weaponized it. And that's where you get the change from khaki jeans or white tees and khakis to tight jeans, because it's all a mind state, and because they are the behind it all. They're the ones that have the power to control the narrative of hip hop, because they control the radio stations, they control the television, the magazines, and they control social media as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So they got together and they created the narrative that we live in today. And that's why a lot of positive rappers, you know what I'm saying, just like LaRon and a whole bunch of people that I know from here, have never been able to break through the ceiling, and we don't understand why. But because now that we see that Kendrick Lamar has took down the Luciferian demon Drake, and Puffy is now out of the picture, and now they are telling you and showing you this cultivated because positive effect hip hop is able to create. So what we're living in now is a controlled, monetized, weaponized music. And that's
Anybody
why
in,
Right.
the righteous.
But
Hold on.
Right.
anybody on here
I,
disagree with Brother Ron?
But hold
I,
on.
I
Can
don't
we
I
think,
was
I,
I
can
was
we
I think, I
can
don't
we
think
get
that
Brother Eric?
it,
He's been had his hand up forever.
I don't even know how to raise my hand on this thing.
He's
I'm
had
too
his
old.
he had his hand up for a minute.
How y'all doing? Shalom, family. Shalom.
Shalom.
Greeting.
I grew up in New York City when the rap era started. And like I was hearing somebody talk about, the break dancing and the backspinning and all that stuff. But when rap actually started, it was positive. It was basically telling about what they saw and what was happening in the neighborhoods. It wasn't about the selling of drugs. It was talking about the negative effects of drugs in the community. It was basically uplifting. And like my brother Ron was talking about, you know, rap and hip hop are two different things. Totally.
yes,
Rap
yes,
is actually a positive influence
absolutely.
on the community. Whereas
Yeah,
hip hop was a culture that's offsprung from rap, where you had where they took rap and we had a certain style of dressing, we wore certain clothes, and then they took that, monetized it, and took it out to the suburbs.
Right.
The kids out there, their parents didn't like rap music. So then what they did, like my brother Ron was saying, they had to create something that made it more palatable for the white community. So they created hip hop. That became a culture, and that culture is controlled by the media. Back when radio stations before they were 100%, controlled by the record labels, the radio stations played what was popular to the people in their cities. I grew up when Rapper's Delight first came out. I heard it on the radio, and it blew me away, and I enjoyed it. And then I grew up in the projects of New York, and the projects I grew up was called Smith Houses. That's where if any of those rappers at that time, if they were going to perform, they performed in my project. That's where Zulu Nation used to hang out, African Bambaataa, everything. They had a big chapter in the project that I grew up in. So I knew about, all of um the rappers that came out. You when Slick Rick basically got when he first came to the States and he started doing his rapping, and he was with the Get Fresh crew and Dougie Fresh and all the different type of the artists back then, where it was more like I said, it was more uplifting. Now, the finger pointing, as one of my brothers pointed out, was um the East Coast, because it started in New York and then it kind of migrated down south. Then it jumped to the West Coast, and then it started moving back across the southern states like Texas and everything like that. But there was different styles of rapping. What happened is, like they said, they had to create some sort of divisiveness. Whereas in New York, it was more about lyricism. In the South, it was all more about bass and booty shaking. In the West, it was more about they did the life storytelling, but they told more of a hardcore story because of the life that they lived out there, where the gangs were more prevalent. And when I tell people this, growing up in New York City, when I did in the 70s, 80s, there were no gangs. The reason that there was no gangs because we had mafia. Gangs create chaos. The mafia is a business, and the mafia will not allow chaos to survive. So there were no gangs. Now you had crews, but they didn't. They were not like a gang. Your crew was basically who you hung out with, who you danced with, who you rapped with, and things of that nature. Whereas in California, there was really no mafia out there, so gangs was able to thrive. Same thing in the Midwest after the Al Capones and everything got kind of shut down in Chicago and Detroit area. That's when gangs sprung up because they moved from the West Coast into that gap that was left by them shutting down the mafia in that area. So I've seen the transformation of what I know as rap music being a positive to a culture called hip hop, which is a perversion of what it originally started out with. I currently don't listen to secular radio at all. It's garbage, it's trash. I don't like it. it wasn't
Agreed.
until it wasn't until I have younger kids, and they would tell me about Kendrick Lamar. I knew nothing about Kendrick Lamar. Then I heard some of his music and I was like, okay, I can deal with Kendrick Lamar. Um then I watched this halftime show and I really, appreciated him. But all this other stuff, like they were saying, females who started rapping at the very beginning, they were trying to be on par with their male counterparts. It wasn't all about a sexuality type thing. They didn't want to be known for being sexualized. They wanted to know for being to able to stand toe to toe with their male counterparts. So you had good battles back then. Then Foxy Brown and Little Kim came onto the scene where it was more sexualized. That was the precursor to all of, like you say, the Cardi Reds, the Glorillas, and everything like that.
But that also was men. Nas was writing Foxy Brown. Jay-Z was writing Foxy Brown lyrics. And
Well,
Biggie was
that was
writing.
a part of the establishment, like you said. Jay-Z is a
Yeah.
part of that establishment. Nas is
Yes.
a part of that establishment. They
Yeah.
knew that they had to do something to separate the men and the women because the women were actually being considered equal to the men, and it wasn't in the best interest for the conglomerate, like you said, the Jewish folks that run the industry. So
Right.
you
They had to
had
have
to
a
have
next.
something that was going to degrade the women. So
Yes.
you had in the South, you had Luke. He came out with, what's
Don't
considered,
stop, get it, don't
yeah,
stop. Yeah.
and like my brother was saying earlier, Blowfly, I used to listen to that back in the 70s.
Yep.
I
Yep.
used to listen to that back in the 70s, and
And Rap
most of the
Dirty came out.
songs
Yeah.
back then, most of the songs, but if you listen to a lot of the songs in the early 60s and early 70s, they were just as sexualized. It just wasn't explicit because the Isley Brothers, that's all they talked about was sex.
Yeah, 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 I agree. But Dolomite was explicit.
Yeah,
Blowfly was explicit.
yeah.
Pigmeat Markham, Leroy
Yolanda
and
Page.
Skillet,
But they weren't.
Yolanda
They
Page.
weren't.
Lawanda
Millie
Page.
Jackson.
You
They
Yeah,
had
weren't
but they
pushing
didn't
it
you
forefront.
had
those
you
Yeah,
type of
had
those
you
type of
also
They
had
mixes.
weren't.
Millie Jackson.
Yep.
yeah, very explicit.
Yeah,
Very,
but
But
very
they
explicit.
Like
weren't pushed to the
but
forefront though.
but
You had
those
other.
things were not put on the radio. We had to
Yeah.
That part
go
right
Yeah.
buy
there.
their
that part right
music
Right.
there, it
in
wasn't on the
order
radio.
to
You had to
hear
buy the
Well,
that.
yeah,
albums.
You
Ghetto
You had
Boys
to
went
go
quadruple
buy it.
platinum with no radio
you didn't
play.
you didn't you
You
didn't
know.
you didn't hear they music was not played for
No.
everybody. Their
Right,
music was played for grown folks.
You
Not,
had to go
not
get the record.
I mean you had to relate to them. You
Yeah.
didn't,
Hmm.
so them trying to um when people try to compare older music back in the day, one thing I can say, yes, there was very explicit music way back in the 60s. You had Betty Wright. You had all of them, singing about their first time and things like that. But those people got paid for their music to tell a story. They
correct.
wasn't put on the radio to
Radio.
be exploited and
Right.
or to influence the young minds. Those people were speaking to the older crowd who had went through that. Now this music
Oh
today, it
yeah,
is
man.
like Luke was not hip hop. Luke was rap, straight
Yeah.
gangster rap.
Lucas rap.
He was, pop that coochie, excuse my language.
That
You
was
know,
booty rap.
pop,
That wasn't gangster. That was
That
booty.
yeah,
was
that
booty
was
rap.
that was pimp music. That was not hip
That
hop
was
or anything
that was
like that.
that
From
was
the hip hop the
that
hip
was
hop that
horn.
I know,
That was
the hip hop
what do
that
they call
the
it?
hip hop that I know is getting a
Horn.
cardboard box and you break dancing and pop locking and things like that. Today, hip hop people have taken hip hop and 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 trying to put it with
It's
rap
Pornhub now.
when hip hop is culture, rap is garbage,
Well, does it not
in my
seem like
opinion.
hip hop or has kind of taken on a persona of, I was just saying this the other day, back in the day rock and roll had a thing of sex, drugs and rock and roll, right? And
Exactly.
they had an image and it was always a horrific looking image. They look scary, you know?
Exactly.
So when you look at rap now, isn't that what they push? Sex, drugs, and they look scary like punk rock
And
with the tattoo
alcohol,
face
and
and the
all they did
Like
was
balls
took
just
Kiss
on
and
wide
all they
open.
did was took on, look at
Nirvana and
Guns N'
all them. Yep.
Roses, look
Yeah.
at
They
all
look
of
like
them
heavy
Kiss,
metal. Punk rock
Yeah,
all
and
they're
of
heavy
heavy
those
metal.
metal.
G.G.
people.
Allen.
Yeah, all of
Hmm.
those
G.G.
people,
Allen.
yep. So now that we are taking on that the tight pants because them men wore tight pants on there with chain and they up there with their fingernails painted.
Prince
They got
used to
black
wear that stuff.
lipsticks on. They got
Prince used to wear.
earrings. They
Prince
they
used to
they
have all
doing
that
all
stuff
kind
on.
of stuff. But but that is the that is their kids was listening to that. You could go.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to some of my Caucasian friends' house, and they have Kiss and all them people on their wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
you
difference
know they
is though,
call that the
is this is
Gothic
the difference
era
though.
or whatever it was. But now, since our culture have taken it and
Another level.
oh, let me see what I can say. I just feel like they have mimicked these other cultures when they coach. That is not our culture. Our culture do not degrade ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do have buck dancing in culture. Well, buck dancing come from Africa, things like that. You know, where where the women were gyrating, but they were gyrating in a way where they were speaking to the ancestors. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So they have taken our culture and just sexualized it,
Mm-hmm.
demonized it, and just sad all the way around.
I agree.
And and you know, it's you listen to these girls now, Millie Jackson and all of them, yeah, they was explicit. But these girls today who are singing about how to catch a disease and
Oh my
and 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 all of that stuff there, what are you teaching our young ladies? This is
Nothing,
right.
okay
because
to
they
lay
don't want to
down.
teach you nothing. They don't
It's
want to teach
okay.
you nothing. That's the point.
Exactly. It's okay to lay down with somebody and not wear protection. All you got to do is go to Planned Parenthood and they going to give you some medicine. And then you come back and do the same thing over again. Like it's no consequences behind your actions when you out here free willing and just allowing these people to dictate how you live your life. And now
But
that's
that's
why
the
you
narrative
have
though.
yeah,
That's the
and
William
that's why you
Lynch.
have us
Mm-hmm.
as black women, because those are not women, those are females.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have black women that are out here carrying themselves at in a decent way, because don't get me wrong, I done been in the club shaking it and whatever, but at the same time, you don't see me shaking it for the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's not how you do it, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And back in the day, our grandparents and everybody had dignity. Ain't nobody won't didn't nobody if you were a freak, it wasn't everybody business.
Right.
That's
You
true.
were a freak behind closed doors.
I
You
have
wasn't
a
a
But you
Lady in the
know
freak.
what
question.
street.
though?
Denise LaSalle, lady in the street. It's a
You
freak in the
notice
Yeah,
street.
that that
you
change
wasn't a
came
freak.
around in the
You
late.
wasn't a freak for everybody to see you. You was a
Yeah.
freak behind closed doors and for your man and for your man only, not for the world.
Right.
But you notice around the late 90s because, I remember the female MCs. Yo Yo was one of my favorites, Salt and Pepper, you know what I mean? Queen
Mm-hmm.
Latifah, Moni Love, MC Light.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them was representing that way, right? But
Nope.
somewhere around the Foxy Brown, Little Kim, the late
Bring
90s or
up.
whatever, the horror music came out.
I
The
have
That
a
was
horror
after
music.
the.
question.
Can't,
That
I
was
but
have
after
a
now that
question.
Muse.
all of this now
Mm.
that all of this all of this stuff has came to surface, now you know why these young girls were so flaming
Right.
because of the things that they were doing. So they only thing they was rapping about the situations that they were in, because at 14 and 15, 16, 17 years old, wasn't nobody thinking about the things that they was talking about. Now that's
Mm-hmm.
because they had been exposed to that arena, and now it makes sense why they were so sexualized, why what look him favorite word, she used to get yay and she
Hmm.
throw lips to it because that's
Mm-hmm.
what she was exposed to. So and they write in the lyrics, so they
Writing
only
the
writing
lyrics.
about what they were doing at the time, because these males, not men, but these supposed to be mentors, were exploiting them. So when the exploitation happened, all we did, we thinking, hey, like the music done changed and they
Mm-hmm.
teaching us how to do the thing. But now you look at it, and those girls and boys were actually being sexualized and assaulted, and now they was putting out there for the world to know, hey, this what go on in the rap world.
I have a
And they needed to
question.
do
I have a
that.
Sister
question, y'all.
Rafaela, before you
Do
ask
y'all
that,
feel that some of these people that we're talking about are industry plants to
Yes,
mentally sabotage our people through
I,
music?
I think they
they
just
all are.
they just I don't want to say that they industry plans. Evil people is gonna be evil people. So it's gonna be we gonna have evil people walk among us. So they know who to go get. They know who to recruit. They know that, hey, put this out. Okay,
And
if you allow your child or if you allow yourself to even listen to this kind of music, that's what you're gonna start. You're gonna start mimicking, cause you
Mhm.
do. Cause when you got ready to go, when before we became the Halo, um, we used to dress a certain kind of way because that's what we saw, and we knew that was going to gain the attention that we wanted, or maybe we was
Mhm.
looking for. But you wore your short skirts, or you wore your Daisy Dukes with your heels on, or with your sneakers on. You wore your big earrings. You wore your tank tops with your belly showing. But I bet you didn't do that coming out the house. You had to
Oh no.
change. You had to change out the door,
Right.
because
but back then
your
we
your
had a
mom
mother
and
and a
daddy was
father.
gonna say, where you where you
We had
going?
a family system back then though. We had a mother
Exactly.
and a father in the home. You're talking about the 70s before feminist and before welfare and all that. They broke down all of these systems. They attacked us from every angle. So they attacked the family, and then they monetized the porno side of it because they knew that's how
The
they
biggest
could make
the
money.
biggest industry plant it was that they put in the community was rock cocaine,
Yep.
and that tore up the family. That was it.
But
It wasn't
it was more than cocaine though. It was cocaine, it was feminism, it was
Welfare.
welfare, it was government assistance. It was all that at the same time. They had 9 or 10 or 11 different angles that they hit us with. And then we were so running around in every different angle, just like it say in the Deuteronomy, that we didn't know what was going on. So they had us distracted, and then they
Mhm.
continued to bombard us with these different levels of how they control us now.
I agree with
So
both
I
of
think
y'all.
everybody is right. Everybody
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I agree.
with your
But
idea
I
is
just feel like that, with the industry plants, it was when they drop that package off in that community, and they say take that pack, and they say run it back. So when they put that pack in the community, fathers and mothers, there was no more fathers and mothers. That's how they broke
right,
up our
right.
home, because now you got your mama and your daddy out running around looking for a crack rock, or
Yeah.
now you selling your daughter. Now your son got to go out and try to make some money for the household because your mama or your daddy done sold all your food stamps, or
But it was
or
also a product. Just like you said, food stamps, it was a product. So they knew what they needed to do. You could put crack in
exactly,
the hood, but they needed a commercial for you to get into crack. And that's what rap was. Rap was like the
exactly.
McDonald's commercial. So you go buy a Big Mac. So they got all these people and was like, yeah, let's make negativity the thing to be. So now all the rappers are rapping about dope and money. And then somebody like me is like, okay, I'm listening to all these different rappers. And I'm like, well, shoot, I need to get a pack then. I need to sell
You
some weed.
ain't
I
you
need
ain't
to learn
and
how to do it.
you ain't
And even in the
lying.
songs, they were teaching you take the baking soda, put it on the Pyrex. They're teaching you how to
Hey,
cook the
what you got?
dope.
Hey, it's all in the wrist, right?
It's right. So they were giving you the blueprint to become a drug dealer. They were
Make
giving
crack
you the
Exactly.
like this.
know-it-all,
Make crack
and
like
they were
this.
giving you what you needed to learn how to be a criminal because they said, okay, the other generation is teaching them how to read books, go to college, read the Bible, learn who they are. And that was scary. The scariest thing for a European or a businessman is a smart melanistic person. So they're like, nah, we got to break that down and we got to create this hip hop so then they can be distracted while we push the drugs into the community and put
Exactly.
more police in the
Yeah,
community and
um,
break down the women and
exactly.
everything,
you,
break down the parents. So now the woman is like, oh, I don't need you in the home, but they don't know that they're being hypnotized by the
But
music and the commercials
who do
and
they
all
break
that.
down first? They break
Yes,
down the man first, because once they
Mhm.
they
break
got
down the
to.
man, the woman gonna be she gonna the woman gon', she do need that man. Cause how many mamas needed a man to go to work and paid bills?
Back then, for sure,
Whoever sit
because
up and say
women,
they don't need no man in their house, they is a story because you do. It take two to take care of the
too,
family. So once they
it
get
take a
rid of
whole
the head,
village.
what happens?
The
Yeah, you're
body
dead.
gets sick.
You guys, hold on, hold
It
on. I
takes a
need
whole
to. You
community.
guys, hold on. I'm sorry, because I know this is a very passionate conversation, but we got other people keep raising hands and lowering them, and we got new people
Okay.
coming in. So
Mhm.
y'all, let's try to give everybody a chance to say their piece. I know Big Weeble, you did have your hand. Did you still want to give your thought out? And after
Oh,
that,
sure,
Sterling
sure,
Ashar came
sure.
in, and I wanted to know if he wanted to chime in.
I just want to say that a lot of stuff that's being said uh was kind of predicted on a song in 1992. Uh Ice Cube's second solo album, Death Certificate. He had a song on there called Us.
Mm.
And this song predicted a lot of things that's happened to hip hop now. He said, I'll just quote one of the lines. I urge you all to check that song out. It is very deep. He said, pretty soon hip hop won't be so nice. No Ice Cube, just Vanilla Ice.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
who do they say is the best rapper nowadays? Who do they say? Y'all.
Eminem.
Eminem,
Uh huh.
Eminem.
Uh huh.
Mm-hmm.
And what is Eminem? You see, it was predicted back
Vanilla
in
Ice,
'92.
Ice, baby.
Yeah, it was predicted in '92. A lot of the things that would happen. You listen to that song. He says, "Who unleashed our animal instincts and got them sitting there tickle pink,
Right.
laughing at us on the avenue, busting caps on each other after having brew." Okay, you got to listen to that song, and it predicts what happens. Y'all notice there's certain artists who make their songs, and you don't hear no scandals about them. They're not part of the club. They're not part
Right.
of that agenda. They say what needs to be said, and they shut up. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? So in that song, "Us," we've in this discussion, we've done a great job of identifying the problem. However, I believe the solution is us. Okay. Nobody puts a gun to our head and says, wear skinny jeans and pop pills. Nobody puts a gun to our head and says, go to O Block and shoot up everybody you see just because. Nobody says, hey, go sell this to your people. Nobody says, put your wife on the corner to sell her body. Nobody can put a gun to your head and make you do that. Okay. We not scared no more. And we walk around with an encyclopedia in the palms of our hands every day. There's no reason to be ignorant. And I just wanted to share that with y'all, my little take on hip hop and and and
Respect.
and
Well,
and,
you
and
know what?
us.
I thank you for that because that leads me to my next question. Once upon a time, hip hop preached about, or when I say preached, but spoke about us being gods, right? But
Right.
now in the new time, it seems like they're just godless.
We're
They're
devils.
God.
There's no
Yeah.
God in the
So
wild. Yep.
so how did it go from the culture of where, especially on the East Coast, that was really the thing of being a god, right? Even
Yep.
addressing each other as gods, right? But now everybody, and
Yep.
I hope YouTube don't mess with me. Everybody's a nigga. You know what I mean? If they ain't a nigga, they're the B word, right?
Right.
You're
Mhm,
either a nigga
mhm,
or a B. Them the two categories. We was queens, we was gods, we was, everything. We was Lord, you know what I mean? Brother,
mhm,
Yep.
even homie. I don't even think homie is it even a thing now? Is what's up, my nigga? Do we
mhm.
even say
No.
my homie?
They call it
you know?
fam. Fam. What up, fam?
You know?
Bruh.
And to see,
They
this
say
is
fam.
another thing. This is another thing. The powers that were, who were in control at the time,
Mhm.
they understand that the English language is a language of spells. It's a backwards language, and
That's
they know
right.
that's how we cast spells on
Come on, talk about
ourselves.
it. Talk about it.
So, how do y'all feel about the energies behind the English language that's being spoken over us collectively as a people through rap music?
So
All the
does
Yeah, like
spell.
that have something to say about us going from gods to this then?
But once again, that takes us back to the meeting that they had in 1991. They had a meeting and they knew where this hip hop was going. They knew that it could change the minds of the youth. So
Mhm,
they had to turn it and monetize it into shaitan music, Luciferian music. And
mhm,
that's what they did.
mhm,
Because we have no power, we just have a voice. We don't have the logistics to control our creation since the beginning. They've been
mhm,
patenting all of the things that we do. They put us
mhm.
down because they know in struggle is where things are created. And we are
I,
the creator,
I have
should
right?
another
should
question.
should we say we haven't mentally put together the concept to have the power because we have it. If we can be experts on the problem, then we can be experts on the solution. Just like we
Right.
can break the problem down and how they engineered it and everything, we can engineer the solution. You know, like
That's
many
right.
of you have said, we know the problems. Now it's up to us to create the solutions. And in fact, we can learn from the blueprint that they use to trap us. I think that's why the scripture says, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Like, when are we really going to start living that? And
The
ye shall
scriptures
do
always,
greater
the
works.
scripture also said that
Mhm.
we are going to die because of the lack of knowledge.
Mm.
So yeah, we
A
can read the
lack of
scriptures,
knowledge.
but if we
We gonna
don't
perish.
listen, that's why we're in the predicament we're in today. Because we never have listened to our creator. The creator
Right.
made it simple. You do these 42 things, you're on my side. If you don't do the 42 things, you're going to be cursed with 42 curses.
And you become his
And
enemy.
that is what's happening to us as a people. We are cursed. It doesn't have
Right.
nothing to do with the white man. Everything that we do, if we're not doing it in the sight of God, is going to become a curse to us. And that's what hip hop has become. Hip
How do
hop
you
has become a curse.
how do you factor in the encyclopedia in our hand, like the brother just spoke of? How do you factor that in with the 42
It,
laws and all of that stuff?
because of the ignorance. It doesn't matter if you're in a library. If you are refusing to whisper to change your life, it's all choices. You have to choose to do bad and you have to choose to do good. You have to choose to love and you have to choose to hate. But right now, because of where we are, and we're not a group of people, we're not a nation. We still say we're black people. So much other things that we have to correct in our own house. To think that we can correct what has been given us or
Done.
put under, it's futile. We have to come together. We're
Yeah.
still calling ourselves Hebrews and Moors and Muslims and black people and all this shit where they don't do that. All of the Jews
Yeah.
are Jews. All of the Christians are
Our
Christians.
Christians. Yeah.
They are together holding us down, monetizing us, and feeding off of us because we refuse to accept the knowledge that has been given us in the basic instruction before leaving Earth. There's
This
not
some real
enough of
talk.
Well,
us
not all
that are
Christians are
following the
Christians either.
laws. See what I'm saying? So then we can get out of the predicament that we are in. Now, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I'm none of that. But I've read all the doctrine.
Check
So
this
I
out. I
know the
got a
mistake.
question, y'all. Have y'all noticed that in the last 10 years, rappers and preachers have been falling dead?
That's right.
Like spontaneously, like at a drop of a dime. Because
Mm-hmm.
whoever's speaking in that white microphone is influenced the people's thinking and their reality, and they done took on the responsibility. So do you feel that's what's the cause of their deaths all of a sudden?
I think that
Any
they're paying.
positivity is gonna.
I think they're paying the price for things that they have done. So
Mm-hmm.
the things that they have done now, the creator has come to collect. So he's collecting on. He don't let you have the fame, the fortune, and all of that. But you have led our people astray.
That's right.
You have
Astray.
been given a gift. You have been given a gift to speak to millions of people, to set them free, to give
And
them
for
wisdom and
centuries of time.
knowledge.
For centuries
And
of time.
now he has come to collect. So he's coming to collect, and we don't know the time nor the day. So when you see these people just dropping like hotcakes, dropping like flies, it's something that they have done.
Judgment.
It's the
And now,
crossroads effect. You
yes,
know about
so
the
they
crossroads,
have
right?
so yes. So now he come to collect on his
He's
own
coming to collect.
yeah, that's it. He coming to collect.
Mm.
So
That's
if
an old thing because even if you know about blues and things, that was something, the proverbial crossroad, that they would go and basically make a deal. Big Weeble, you know about this. Speak on it. Them crossroads.
I think Robert Johnson, a young blues guitarist back in I don't know when they did make a movie in the '80s called Crossroads
Yeah, they
about
did.
that.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
wasn't it
Old boy played the
correct?
guitar.
Yeah,
Bone Thugs and Harmony got a song called
yeah.
So do.
Robert
And that
Johnson supposedly.
yeah, they go down to
Meet
that
Me at the
crossroads to make that deal.
Crossroads.
Yeah,
Yep.
a lot of
Meet
people
me at
say
the
that's why
crossroad.
Smokey Robinson still looks so good. They say he went to the crossroads.
Hey, after Gold Thugs and Harmony did that song, They didn't
Yep,
do any
that's
more
Bone
songs after
Thunder
that.
Humming. Meet me at the crossroads.
After they did that song, they were done. If you think about it, that song was so righteous that after they made that song, they cut them off. Because think about it, when we were little kids, we was listening to rock and roll. I'm 52 years old, and the same rock and roll songs that I was listening to when I was 4 or 5, they're still playing today. So they know the power of music. It doesn't go anywhere. So when you make righteous songs, like Fam said about Criminal Minded and what all these people are doing, they had to take those songs away because in time, we're going to raise our frequency as melanistic people. And when we get to that point, we're going to be able to go back to these songs and play the songs and get the downloads and be righteous. And that is the greatest fear, for
You
us
said
to become
righteousness.
righteous.
Let me ask you about that then, because when we talk about hip hop or rap or this culture, whether you were with the conscious side of spirituality or the biblical side of spirituality, it seems like neither one of those have any place in this new hip hop, where
No,
there's no conscious or biblical spirituality. So what has it done to our spirits? It's killed the spirits of people. I mean, people still
it's
get on
William
stage
Lynch
and
rap.
say they
That's
say
what it
they
is.
God, but what God are they even talking about when they say that now?
They're talking about the God that they trust. They believe in Shaitan. Shaitan. They believe that their God is called the devil. So the Jewish people who are in control of everything, their belief system is that Satan is their God. So they're
And then
pushing,
and then you have this generation who is lack of spirituality and right culture.
and that's
They
why
don't
they took the
have
father out of
they
the
they
home.
don't
They
have
took the mother
no
out of them.
these people do not have no culture sense at
No,
all.
So
Because the
they
things
only
that
have an occult. Rap
that's
is
it.
now an
Hmm.
occult. It's
Hmm.
not
That's it.
culture.
It's
It's
so
a
not
when,
it's an
culture.
occult.
right. So when you
And people mixing hip hop and rap, it's just rap. It's no hip hop.
I
Mm-mm.
when
agree with you,
y'all
It's
when
sister.
y'all look at
Luciferian
the
music.
I agree with you.
when y'all look at the work of Young Dolph and say Nipsey Hussle,
Yep.
and I know the scriptures say you can't be lukewarm, you can't be on both sides of the fence, but when you look at the impact of what they was able to do for the people,
Yeah.
and I think y'all would consider them rappers. I don't think y'all would consider them hip hop artists. That's why I wish Bay would have went deeper on why he's an artist and not a rapper. But
Okay.
how do you speak to the impact and the influence and how they use their tool for good for the good of the people? So in other words, it looked like they made themselves a living sacrifice.
Yes.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yes.
But
So so can you speak on that?
it's just like I went to church today. You know how
Hmm.
you go to some of these churches and they have nothing but a bunch of elders in there, and then when you have and the young people cannot relate to churches where it's a bunch of elders.
Mm.
But when you have a young pastor or a preacher that's up there can speak their language
Hmm.
and can relate, like Nipsey Hussle and Kendrick Lamar and things like that, they can relate to the younger culture
Yeah.
because they are part of that culture, and they're trying to spit wisdom into that culture because they know that they are spiritually depleted. They know that they're culturally depleted. So
Right.
they're trying they you got to get down on their level. Now none of us can get on their level because we're not on that level. We're
We're
on a
not on that
higher
frequency.
level than
Yeah.
what they are. But don't get it twisted. We can go to that level, but we
Right.
have
Right.
evolved from that. So you do have your soldiers that's
Hmm.
out there that can do that work, and that's what they are ordained to do.
Right.
Is we shouldn't look bad at them, but at least someone, just like you got the old man that pulled a young buck to the side and he spitting wisdom to him, but he may not be saying it in a godly way, but
Hmm.
he's saying it in a way that this young buck can understand and take
Right.
heed in what he's saying. Because
Like you said, he's
sometimes
going to
it
his level.
exactly, because we have to come back to their level. We
Right.
we as elders get a little too high. We do,
Yep.
and
We. Yep.
we speak in all this terms and quoting Bible scriptures and doing all of these things, and don't forget where we come from. Because
Right.
before we got to where we at, trust and believe we went through something, and they need to see that part of it. Not that we're all so righteous now. We need to
Right.
show the unrighteous side to pull them into the righteous. Now, look where I came from. Yeah, I
Hmm.
used to smoke. Yeah, I used to be out here. Yeah, I used to do this. Yeah, I used to do that. But look at me now. They don't want to see
Look
the
at me
high
now.
and mighty and the sedity and this and that. Oh, and all of that. They don't need to see that. They need to see the real. And that
They
is
need to
what
see the
we
Malcolm Little.
as yes, that's as leaders, we need to be able to share the real, not just the surface that where we at now. And
Right.
that's why we
What
can't touch our younger crowd as elders, because we need to humble down to them and be honest with them and show them like, hey, I've been there, done that. and
Hmm.
and then look, if you take these steps, you'll be able to do that. And I'm gonna
when
land
it
my plane.
okay, when it comes to that on a spiritual level, far as like church or people of biblical faith, right? I understand that you want to show them where you've been or kind of like come to a level where they understand, but we almost also have to be careful with that because you don't want to compromise the word in trying to reach somebody,
Hmm.
because like for instance, when it getting back on this subject, hip hop, right? We have a lot of rap music now in the churches or even like in the truth, but I was saying how sometimes I can't differentiate between is this gospel or Christian or Hebrew or is this secular because it kind of sound all the same. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even if you're trying to reach somebody, even if you're using that form, you have to do it in a way that still keeps the holiness in it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But when
Yep.
you hear I've heard a lot of Christian and truth music, hip hop artists. It sounds like worldly music to me. Ain't no Ruach Hakodesh on that. So I'm trying to understand, should is that even a form we should be using in our faith? And if so, have they made it too secular?
Mm.
Well, sister,
Good question.
i- if I understand what you're saying, uh, 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 part of what the other sister was saying about how to talk to people, I think that's a Colossians 4:6 type of thing. Let your speech be seasoned with salt and grace, so you know how to answer any man. You gotta know how to talk to who you're talking to. I feel you on that.
Right.
Now
Exactly.
the question about it's kind of like the rainbow.
Hmm.
We know what it represents,
Hmm.
Hmm.
but we know what they try to say it stands for. You
Hmm.
dig what I'm saying? So are we supposed to stop uh, 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 teaching what the rainbow is according to the scriptures?
No,
Hmm.
No, exactly,
Well,
no.
what
exactly.
we have to do.
So I would say, excuse me, brother. So
Oh,
I
it's
would
okay.
say the answer to that question is, as far as what avenue you reaching or teaching or spreading the basora in,
Hmm.
Mm.
if that's where if the Most High wants you to shine in that area, that's where you shine,
Right.
Hmm.
and you shine until He tells you
Yep,
to move somewhere else and shine.
Right.
Hmm.
So
exactly.
I remember sister back in the days, way back in the day when I was in a different walk. She was putting together a church program called "Take Back the Rainbow."
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay, and that was a bold statement back in the days, because that's when these alphabet people had all the rainbow stickers on their cars. You know what
They
I'm saying,
flipped
and
it.
everything else.
They
Yeah, yeah,
flipped
yeah.
the rainbow. They
Okay,
put the purple on
so
the bottom.
so
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
so when she approached the pastor saying she wanted to put together a program called Taking Back the Rainbow because it belongs to us according to the scriptures, he said, "Wait, hold on, sister. We gotta be careful how we deal with certain issues now. You know, the times have changed." And to me, I thought that was the biggest cop out.
But he's
I
a
was like,
501c3. He's a
Hmm.
501c3. So
you know,
he can only go with the curriculum that the 501c3 allows him to do, or he loses his funding. So when
Yeah.
you deal with preachers, it's a business, just like the music business. I think we're getting caught up in two different things.
Okay, but hold
yeah,
on.
Um,
yeah, you're
I
right.
want no, hold on, hold on. But I wanted you to finish your thought too, because again, I don't know. Maybe let me clarify it again. We there. I feel like all music it comes from the Most High. He gives us our gifts, right?
yeah,
And it has been adulterated, over the years. So
right.
I'm not saying that you can't have hip hop, righteous hip hop, but what I'm saying is a lot of it it's not sounding righteous. It's not giving righteousness. It's giving secular.
Right.
I've heard truth artists rapping, cussing up a storm, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you talking about the Most High, but then you talking about, F and
Yeah.
Diddy, and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
So
so
like
yeah,
DJ Plant Lady
you
said,
can use the
those
music,
are
but keep it
industry
righteous.
plants. Just like DJ Plant Lady said, those type of people, those are the industry plants.
The
Because all you
tares
gotta
among
do,
the tares amongst the wheat.
right. So all you really have to do with anything is look at the intention and the actions of them. Don't listen to the words. What are their actions? And they're gonna show if they're a goat or a sheep.
I
So
like
in
that, brother. I
all
like that.
industries, we don't own any of these industries. And that's the problem. We don't own hip hop. We don't own rap. We don't own social media. We have nothing but the articulation of our thoughts and our voice. And they have monetized our brilliance of using their language to speak to our people. So once they realized that we know how to articulate ourselves so we can free our people, they needed to create these industry plants so then they could control the narrative. So even in Christian rap or whatever you want to call it, those people have these huge billion-dollar industry people that we don't even know the names, and they're ones that are sitting in a room with 13 or 14 people, and they're like, this is what we want this music to sound like. They're suggesting, hey, do you want to make more money? Well, if you say this in your rhyme, we're going to give you more royalties. Just like what Meek Mill said that. He was like, if I try to do a positive song, they don't pay me as much. But if I do a negative song, they give me signing bonuses. They give me tickets to the games.
Controversy
So these are
sells.
just
Yeah.
lost children. They're just the lost children. And it takes us in these conversations and for us to come together to create a new council, a new Jerusalem. So then we can fight back, because this is a losing battle. They have everything that you can think of already locked down. Like if we were a spacecraft like NASA in space, every single protocol that happens in space, they go to a book and they say, oh, if the what's the name over here blows up and the wave comes, they know what to do. And that's what we don't have. We don't have the ability to see what they're doing and then change it and then create the narrative and monetize the positivity. And that's the problem. They're so ahead of us in controlling our narrative or finding this thing that we're about to do. They just go ahead and monetize it before we can even do it. That's why they say fam already and all that. You know what I'm saying? They're so ahead of us. You know what I'm saying?
I wanna because certainly y'all, I'm looking at the screen and I know you got something to say, so I want to hear you chime in on this.
I've just been listening. You know, I have never, and I'm talking about basic math. A negative and a positive equals a negative.
Right.
A negative and a negative equals a negative. So I don't see getting that within the system trying to change anything from a negative system.
Yeah.
Once you in it,
Negative.
once you in it, you're negative.
Yeah.
I don't care how positive you think you look. I mean, I've never seen, I've heard politicians say, oh, I'm gonna get to Washington and we're gonna change Washington. Till they get to Washington and they don't change Washington.
Right.
So I've never seen only on the status of what you are is what can change you. Meaning, if you are an institution, the only thing that can change an institution is another institution. The only thing that can change a government is to go to war with another government.
And lose.
So that means that as a people, the only thing that we can do is change the individual.
Thank you. Come on.
You start with yourself, then start with your family, and then raise your kids, and then start in your community where you are, not the world. I don't care about YouTube. I don't care about Facebook. That ain't my business. We'll never have the power to change the world, not Negroes. I'm specifically talking about us. I'm not talking about the world. I don't care about that. So with that being said, right, when I look at hip hop now from 43 years old, the only thing I can do now is not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Meaning, when I get to hip hop, first off, I don't know who said something about the South. I'm gonna get to that part because I'm from the South, from Mississippi. Luke is not considered the South in Mississippi. Luke Skywalker is not the South. He's from Miami. We consider that the East Coast in the South. That's the East from the South. We don't consider that the South. So we're going to keep them over there. And we're going to talk about them in a second. But when, as an individual, I can go through rappers and find the positive because they are, I'm going to give my people grace and mercy. How many of us, you don't got to answer the question, but how many of us have chosen to do things based on the circumstance in which we were in? How many jobs we took that we didn't supposed to take? How many things we've done in the street that we ain't supposed to do? How many relationships we were in and we ain't supposed to be in that relationship, but we did it according to the situation and we wanted the Most High to have mercy on us. So when I look at these rappers, I don't look at them from an industry. I look at them from the individual, and then I'll go through their catalog and I'll see if I go through their catalog, was they talking about anything concerning me? I'm not going to take all of Tupac that there is because a part of him was crazy. But then there's another part that related to me all the way in Mississippi as a Negro male who told me to keep my head up. I'm gonna look at who's speaking, and then I'm gonna go through their catalog, and I'm not gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I'm gonna just, if you don't mind, please, since we're talking about hip hop, let me read something from somebody from down there in Florida, right? This Trick Daddy. And he got a song called America, right? And on one of the verses, one of his homeboys was on the verses. He spoke. He spoke about. Okay, here it is. This is a friend of his that was on the song. So I want you to hear this part and tell me, do you relate to this? And do we relate to this as a people? He said, you only got $2 and give less than an F, then you's a nigga. Got a nice home and a Lexus truck, you a nigga. World champions and you MVP, you a nigga. 4 degrees and a PhD, still a nigga. To use your platinum card, you need 4 IDs, then you a nigga. If your skin is brown just like me, then you a nigga. Got a promotion and a fat A raise, you a nigga. You from the islands and your people wasn't slaves, still a nigga. No matter how much your A get paid, you a nigga. Shot by a cop at a traffic stop, cause you a nigga. That's why I hold toast too. I see by coastal, international, they into catching you when satellites is deep in space. Now, who invented niggas in the first place? And said America's the original birthplace. Who getting 10, 20 life on their first case? My niggas. So that verse let me know that in the midst of that whole crazy album, there was somebody still thinking. They still thought. Individually, they could see us as a people. Individually, they could still connect. The industry is just a means for somebody that's broke to get paid because that's where the money is.
That's it.
Ashkenazis got the money, and that's where we go. Are people willing to sell out? Yeah, but I'm not gonna look at the sisters today that's talking about selling their vaginas and catching diseases because I'm gonna look at Luke Skywalker who was talking about that, and he was getting paid off of it. The women are a byproduct of a man. The women are the byproduct. In any nation, men lead. Once the head go bad, the body follow with it. So when I look at the women today, I'm not going to throw them all into the gutter. They're a byproduct of something wicked, and it's the sick head, which is us. Because the industry didn't seek out righteous men to go into the industry and start singing and start rapping. And I don't got to stop at hip hop. I can go to the blues. I can go into R. Kelly. I can go into any part of R&B. It was sexualized. We talked about it. We whored out our women. Ain't that a scripture that tell us not to whore out the daughters of Israel? But yet we did. And then now that they're walking in that, we want to then turn around and say, y'all wicked. No, we were wrong first. But how do I get it right? Me. I'm going to marry one of our sisters and not whore her out. I'm going to teach my daughter not to be a whore as the individual. And then as she go out, she then marry a man of character and have more children. And as righteous people have more children and continue to be righteous, righteousness can then dwell in the earth. But until then, the reason the wicked is going to always be looked at first is because of our psyche as a people. Every time there's drama, wickedness, wrong, we see that more than we see the right. I haven't heard, why don't we see the right more? I'm talking about on the individual level. Forget the industry. Forget what they put in our face. That's just the mirage. That's just the magic trick. That's just put in our face so we can not pay attention to our own neighborhoods. How many great men are in your own neighborhoods? How many great children are in your own neighborhoods?
Yeah.
How many great rappers do you know that not in the industry, but just spit on the block, then came and hit a rhyme inside your house and you knew they was positive? The reason we don't speak about them because they don't get the money. We speak on those who get the money is because we're addicted to trauma and drama more than anything else. And that's not a shot against us or any individual on here, but it is a shot against us as a people.
Right.
Because we make the ignorant get higher than what they should be. We make the unrighteous get higher than what we should be because we praise them, we look at them, we give them too much attention. But if you do not pay attention to the wicked, it's just like a child. If a child is acting out as a parent, do you pay attention to them or you get them in line and you don't pay attention to them and then whoop them at the house? But all I'm saying is the condition that we see as a people, we know it's a weapon against us. We know it. What are we doing as an individual? How are you protecting your household? Not the world. I can't change the world. I can suggest. I can speak. But it's not like I'm against you, DI plant lady. I'm not against you. I'm not. Don't think that. I was hearing what you were saying. But I've never seen a prophet. I've never read about a prophet going lower than what they were in order to draw people to the Most High. They always stayed where they were. And as we accept it on jobs, we accept that from other ethnic groups. We accept the manager don't get out there and be a cashier most of the time. He stay up there to be a manager, and we try to go to be that person that's sitting in the office. But only us as a people do we do the opposite. Brother Ron, you said that was part of the curse. It said children was going to lead us as a people. What is rap? Oh, that's not the youth leading us as elders. At 43, what the hell am I listening to rap for? Especially commercial rap. I'm 43. I'm a husband. I have children. What am I listening to somebody call something Uzi Vert for? Named Lucifer. Why am I listening to that? Why, as a grown woman, is somebody named Cardi B or twerking your behind with a vagina? Why are you even paying attention to that? We pay attention to it and it gives it life. And as an adult, I'm going to stay an adult. My children are going to come to where I am, and I'm going to go into the earth. But I am not going to ever get down on their level to do nothing.
No, what I was saying, what I was saying, brother, was
he was saying how to communicate with them. I think that's what she was
communicate, because it's like, we as elders, we do need to listen to the young because they could give us wisdom as well as we could give them wisdom. Because in order to know what is going on in that particular world, we have to listen to them and not necessarily getting on their level, just having an understanding and understanding of these word plays that they got going on. Because you have where these children, they may say something and we looking like we don't know what that means, but we need to, as elders, as the world get wiser, they also get wickeder. So as these kids come up, you do have to sit back and listen to them. That's how you learn who they are as an individual. In order for us to go out into our communities and in order for us to go out in our communities and lift these children up. When I say I would never stoop to nobody's level, but I'm saying, like, far as getting on their level, as far as when we throwing out these big words that they may not understand, things like that. Never, I don't never want to get out of character or get on that level. I want to get on that level of mindset of where they're at, so I can reach them in a way that they can be reached. And I just had my trial and tribulation this whole 5 days. And these little kids, when I say that I wanted to give up, and because they were so BAD and they were so ill-mannered, they were so disrespectful. But each day that I came home and I prayed, all I can hear is do not give up on them. Do not give up on them. Do not give up on them. So each
Hallelujah.
day that I went there, I had to find a way to touch them in a way that that they can relate. Not standing up there being a disciplinary, but also being able to ask them questions, asking them how they feel. Now you could take that and turn it around where now these kids can say, all right, she can relate. You know, now she's more of a mama figure than somebody pointing their fingers all the time and saying, sit down and do this. Once you listen to these kids and see what they're going through, you know, now you have to turn the tables where we are able to speak to them in a way where they can relate, not not conforming to their level, but relating to them is what I meant. And what you said about us fixing the solution, absolutely. We got to fix our house before we can fix anybody else's.
Sister, if I can say this to Di Plant Lady,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't disagreeing with you. I was agreeing with you. I was saying that the way I was forming my words, I was speaking on something you said, but the way I was structuring what I was saying, I didn't want you to take it
No,
as if I
absolutely.
was disagreeing with you. You were
Oh,
saying,
no, not at all.
okay,
We all are here to listen and disagree, and also we all have
Resolve.
opinions. We all have.
right,
This is how we come together as strategic planning and being able as leaders to go in our communities and 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 effectively apply our solutions to our communities that we touch.
right on.
I was just
Mm-hmm.
clarifying, you
Yeah,
know, up
Mm-hmm.
and so that we are aligned with each other on what you're saying, and
yeah,
I'm aligned with you. I don't take it offensive at all.
right,
It that we all have to be able to, because coming from a man of God, you know, that those are the things that we need more men such as you all that's on these platforms to speak up in these neighborhoods. People need to hear that. People, you know, we're wondering how, you know, you have these politicians, oh, y'all community leaders need to get in your communities, and they the ones that's causing the problems, but they the ones want us to come up with all the solutions. But
right,
before we can fix our community or fix the world, we got to fix our own household. And
that's
once
right.
we fix
Bingo.
our household, then we able to step out on our block, next door to next door, across the street, and fix the kids. But other than that, we gonna we on a ladder that's going up, and we're gonna fall back down, because the more that we come up with the solution, the more they're gonna throw a monkey wrench out there to make it just more harder, so we cannot reach our children.
Right on. I agree. I agree.
Brother Zachary, yeah,
Mhm.
now that you have heard everything we've said, because I think you might be the youngest in the room, why don't you give us your perspective from your generation? I don't know, what is it, what are you, Gen X,
Gen
millennial?
Z, Gen
Well,
Z.
I don't know why I'm considered because, like, I mean, I'm 29. I'm
Mm-hmm.
29 years
Oh,
old.
he's a millennial.
Okay.
So, what I would say, too, like to piggyback off what certain of y'all said, one thing that he's mentioned was attention. Attention is the new currency. Attention is seem like it's much more profitable than more profit. And I feel like a lot of times, not only like like other hip hop artists and stuff like that, but it's also you have other individuals. You know, whether you're talking about like streamers and ones with a huge audience, you know, they may not be musically talented, but they do have a large following. And it seemed like, with these content creators and stuff like that, they cater towards more of a negative and controversial type of topics. And again, as much get more attention and stuff like that, like, start to circulate around. So I think sometimes we have to be cognitive. We have to be cognitive of what we consume, especially online. Online, just these platforms in general. We have to be aware of certain things, because as much these videos and stuff like that, they carry a certain frequency as well, and a certain mentality that you start to look can be exposed more into it, and you don't have that mental way of filtering it out, eventually be indoctrinated, and then in turn, you carry that out into the world. So I think attention is one of the factors that that we kind of have to be aware of. So attention, from entertainers to other people of influence, I say in quotes. So
If you don't mind, could you mind me asking you a question, brother Leroy?
yeah.
In your generation, what do you see at what like with music? What is the main behavior do you see music is targeting your generation that you can see out of your eyes when if you're with your friends and the social groups or anything? What do you think? What behavior do you see music? If I'm asking the right question, am I asking it correct? Like what the behavior you see change more out of your eyes with the music that's being played? What do you see in your
In
eyes change?
the hip hop music, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can classify certain things like hip hop. I think sonically it can be classified as hip hop, but subject matter wise and impact wise is more geared towards degeneracy. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And it seemed like degeneracy is much more herald now. And piggybacking over what I mentioned, attention, degeneracy, is being upheld more, it's being pedestalized more than than other individuals that may have a message, that may have a message to share, that may have how we say jewels, like back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like other elders say jewels. We want to give you some jewels. And even then, how if you want to be able to, bring out knowledge and stuff like that, another good topic I think we kind of touched over was the delivery. Do you have that relatability? Do you have the relatability to, hey, can I be able to discuss with you? Would you be open to having this discourse with me and see what we can be able to do to improve, lifestyles, mentality, and also other people that may be involved. So, um, yeah, I think that's kind of been a lot of my observation. And I'm not separated from me either, because I do, like I'm now when I rap and stuff like that, I wouldn't say it's like degeneracy. Like I do use profanity and stuff like that in my music. I'm not excluded from that. So at times, even when I'm in the process of making music, I have to be cognitive of what I put out in the world, and also even artists that I work with. I have to be cognitive of who I work with too. So in a way though, it does stem from individual responsibility at times. Just seeing just trying to see how this in the long run is going to impact others. So yeah.
All praises.
If,
Salakia. Oh, go ahead, brother, servant of Yah.
Oh, I just had a follow-up question to the brother. I just wanted one more question. I just to get an understanding from I'm I'm a person with no social media. I don't have cable. So I just live in the country and I'm raising children. So I'm thankful that everybody's on here so I can get an understanding because I got kids coming up in this world. Who do you see with the way music is today? And I know that it targets everybody, but sometimes we receive it different between male. We're biologically the same in a sense, but we receive it different. And I would say that, for an example, when Lil Jon came out, I remember when Lil Jon came out, I saw more men fighting in the club than women. They were more getting out the way. They wasn't fighting like that. So in today's music, who do you see affected more between the male and the female? Or do you see a difference? Or is it equal, or do you see it targeting more of the males more or more of the females more? Who do you see being affected more in today's music?
In my opinion, in my perspective, I can't really distinguish. I can't really distinguish both, because there's different tactics in each, in each gender. Whereas the male, a lot of the tactics and stuff is geared towards, aggression, maybe aggression, lack of discipline, against, what I'm saying, like going against each other. And
Yeah.
then with then with the women, of course, the raunchy subject matter and stuff like that. And even then though too, like just observing how the men be, you know, how can I follow somebody as the head when they're not even demonstrating, characteristics and traits that, I wouldn't want to be a part of. So that's kind of a hard question to answer though, because at the end of the day, like it's different things that, it's different ways and different tactics that they kind of like have a programming with.
So
Or
you
what's the
said
appeal? What's the appeal, so
so I think you answered it. You're saying that both, but it just they target them in different ways, meaning with the males, violence toward young males, because I see them shooting more, killing more. But with women, it's more uh degeneracy, and it's, I guess, more sexualized. So more sexualizing the young women and no shame. And with the young men, the lack of respect of life, because I'm seeing younger men shooting and killing each other more, especially in the drill, nihilistic more of rapping, more the drill rap. It's just killing, killing, killing of young men in major cities. But with women, just in general, those who are taking it in, not everybody, but I'm saying those who are taking it in, it's more sexualized for the women. Was that what you were saying?
Yeah, I think that's how I'm stating it. So yeah.
All right.
Brother,
May I,
let me
say
ask
something,
y'all
please?
something. Yeah, real quick, but let me get this out real quick since we're on this area. When you were saying how does it affect the men and the women and so forth, has everybody seen? I know for some of y'all you say you don't have social media, but have you maybe heard Carnival Cruises has taken away rap music because of the behavior of the people. A lot of people feel like it's targeting black people, right? But what is going on again in this hip hop music? Like you said, what effect is it having? But to the point that they had to say we can't have this no more on our boats because there's all kind of videos going around of them fighting and just acting, as the old folks say, showing yo black, you know what, in public, right? So what again is going on? What effect is this new music having to where because I don't remember so much in old hip hop or rap people just tearing up everything um as now to where now, they're gonna ban it. Like that's crazy. So again, what is going on that they had to ban it on the cruise ship? Is that just an attack on black people or is it because the music really is provoking certain spirits to come out of people?
I think that banning it, and I don't care if somebody throw rocks, I don't care. I think banning it business wise, business,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
outside of emotions,
Mm,
business, it was the right thing to do because
absolutely.
I don't agree with the term black. We were called Negroes at first. And then black is more of a social engineered term for people after you socially engineered them into degeneracy. So you create a people that is destructive with its music, that's degenerate in their ways, and then you call them black. And then when you play that music, I feel like what would you call that? It's a CIA term. I forgot the term. When you it's almost like you create uh sleeper cells where I don't know about nobody else. Let me speak of myself. You ever been, driving, and me, I'm 43. And let's say somebody passed by me playing some old music. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden I'm
You
just
you
vibing to it
you
because
you
it
jamming.
just opened up something inside of me. And I'm like, man, that's that old juvenile. Man, that's that old cash money. Man, that's that old ghetto boys. And it just opened up something. Well,
Yeah.
that's something subconscious inside of me. And I got to catch myself like, oh man, listen to them lyrics. No, man, let me roll my window up right quick. Well, you can have people get onto a carnival cruise all in order, get to their room all in order. But then when you switch on that
Yeah.
music, how it taps into that spirit, make them wild out, destroy things. I feel like
Yeah,
music has been
exactly.
weaponized spiritually to make us carnal, if you get what I'm saying. It's been weaponized
Yes, that
spiritually.
and
Go ahead, sister. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's the same thing that happened. That's the same thing that goes on in the club, brother. You remember, like when you first get in the club, they playing the oldie goldie, and then at about 11:45, the music changed. Now the club is jumping. You know, they got the club now, the whole atmosphere, people jumping up and down, taking their shirts off, you know, and they
Yes.
jumping up and down. And
Yes.
what I ain't never scared. And
Yeah.
now nobody, you know, that this
Yeah.
side over here
Talk
singing
it.
to the other side over here. And
Talk it.
next thing you know, it's a brawl in the club, because I ain't never scared. And so from a business standpoint, for people who pay good money to go on these cruises, maybe they needed to ban the music, because you also have children on these cruises.
That's
People
right.
going on these family cruises, and I don't want my child listening to things that they don't listen to at home. Just because I'm a melanated woman don't mean we all listening to the same music. You know, sometimes you might get in your car by yourself, and you may turn the music up because it bring back the old days or something like that.
Right.
But then in your house, I'm like you, brother, we don't got no cable. And 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 I'm the type of person, I don't watch TV. I don't if I ever wanted to hear derogatory music, I had to go to the club and listen to it, because it wasn't allowed in our house.
Right.
And if we did listen to it, you better turn it down so low that your mom and daddy couldn't hear it, and things like that. So
Mhm.
with today, the way things are going on, this type of music has so much emphasis and frequencies and amps on it, to it's just sending it's not only sending the melanated people into a rage, it's sending everybody. It wasn't just only us up there, boots on the ground. It was everybody with the boots on the ground. Now that everybody is getting in tune with this music, and is everybody with the boots on the ground, now it's a problem, because it's coming from a melanated person. But when Ache It Break It Hard, Don't Break It Hard, and all this other stuff come out, and everybody boot scooting and Ache It Breaking, it's no problem. But because we sitting down on the sidelines, because we don't know how to two-step to that music, but now it's boots on the ground, and it got a little umph in it and a little beat to it, and everybody's swatting the flags and stuff, and they fans. Now it's a problem, and we can't have that kind of music. But when you playing elevator music, everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I they're dividing. It's good for some people. It's good when it can make a mockery of us.
Talk it.
But when it's making a mockery of everybody in other cultures, now we have a problem. We got to ban it. We can't listen to this. We got to ban it in our other countries, and we got to ban it on the ships, and we got to ban it in the schools. We got to do all of this, but it was okay for us to play it in the band. You got
Mm-hmm.
you got the colleges playing it and gyrating, and the girls on the field hoochie coochie and all of that. But why they ain't banning it in the schools? Why they ain't banning it in the football fields? Because
Yeah, yeah.
brother servant and every brother on here, I know you don't want to go to no football field and see your daughters with their legs wide open, humping to the air. But
Right.
it's okay. You could get a scholarship and humping to the air, gyrating, if you ain't throwing it back hard enough in these black colleges. I mean, excuse me, these HBCUs. But they could ban it on a cruise ship. But you ain't
Mm-hmm.
banning this mess in the colleges, because now you got these little girls who want to be the line dancer and the death drops and all of this. But it's okay for our kids to make a mockery of themselves. But when they're kids, it's okay when we do it. But when they do it, it's a problem.
I
Mm-hmm.
get that. Like, I don't know if some of y'all can remember back, but remember, crack wasn't an epidemic until it left the hood. Uh, Two Live Crew wasn't banned until all the suburbs started buying it. Do y'all remember that?
Mhm.
Yes,
Exactly.
Banned
remember.
in the USA. Yeah,
Exactly.
I see that. I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
You
I'm
want to
with
know
you.
why? Because when it banned in the USA, because why? Because he had those other races getting up there and doing things for some small change, and it was embarrassing their culture. Now it's now the table has turned, and now we up there making the mockery and samboing. Oh, it's okay for our little girls to get up there and gyrate, but they want to ban when it affects their culture, and their daughter is up there wilding out, girls gone wild and all of this and that. Now
Tula,
they want to
hot
ban it.
Tula. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. When they want to ban it, then oh no, not little Sarah, not little Sarah. Because she's making their culture look bad, but it ain't making our culture look bad.
But do you, just to get back to her question, and I'm talking about from a business sense. I'm not talking about from a cultural sense because again, I don't care about anybody throwing rocks.
Mhm.
I do not associate myself with black culture because I understand that it has been socially engineered to be what it is today. And how we see ourselves and how the world see ourselves is two different ways. It don't matter what we see in ourselves. The world see
Absolutely.
us as degenerate. One day, just recently, I handed my daughter a thing of soap because she just came from her job and she told me she is the only dark-skinned Negro that's working there. And because she's quiet, she don't say anything. The Caucasians that's working there feel like she's a threat. And then when she talk, they feel like she's a threat. And one day I said, hey, hand me some soap. And she handed me the soap. And I handed it back to her. I said, what did I just do? She said, handed me the soap. I said, did that seem normal? She said, yeah. I said, but let me tell you when Caucasians see that. They said I slammed the soap in your hand, and then they said that I threw it on the counter because when they see us, normal things we do is exaggerated. So I agree
Yeah.
with you in the institutional sense that if you're going to ban one, ban all, but I understand their prejudice. They're born with it. It's institutionalized. It's law.
Exactly.
It's policy. They were born and raised in it, and I give them that, and I don't give a flying crap about them at all. 0 cents. But
Exactly.
but what I'm asking is to get back to Sister Doc's question. When it comes to the degeneracy of our people, because the music is not our music. I'm talking about the degeneracy that's in it,
Right.
the industry behind it. Do you agree banning it from Carnival Cruise due to the craziness that our people have done when it turned on? Do you agree banning it was the right business thing to do?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
All
it
right.
don't make
Yeah.
dollars, it don't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't finna stop you're not gonna stop my money because
All right.
Right.
half of them half of them that's on them cruises paying paying half prices. They busting down all on piled up in one room and things like that. So yeah, Carnival Cruise, that you're not finna have our elite and VIPs, cancel their subscriptions for some hoopla. So hey, I'm for real banned
Mhm.
because it's a business move. It's economic affecting us. So when it affect our pocket, it affect all of us. And absolutely, they
Okay.
should ban it if whatever kind of music. It ain't just got to be the boots on the ground. It could be any kind of music that is causing conflict in the workplace and causing conflict where it's going to hurt our business. Absolutely.
Right on.
Mhm.
Right on.
Because there are other genres that when it comes on, like that moshin type music, where they just tear up and wild out and body slamming each other. So it's not just the hip hop, you know what I mean? There are
Mhm.
other genres of music that cause people to just act a fool once it come on.
I'm just,
Mhm.
I'm just trying to figure out something myself. Okay, you cancel hip hop music on the Carnival Cruise. What more can we do on a Carnival Cruise? Because at least 50% of us can't swim anyway. So why we even risk?
Well, they said they're still allowing,
Can we?
R
How
and
much
B.
back? How can you really back somebody up over the boat? And I mean, really, is it because we most of us can't swim? So it kind of defeats the purpose for me. How much
Let's
trucking can you do on a mess? And mind you, with Carnival Cruise, they should really be worried about their unsanitary food distribution because people are getting sick. So anything else they really should worry about is anybody throwing about some hip hop. I mean, they should really worry about cleaning up their kitchens, cleaning up the rooms where people are coming into where they're not getting bed bugs and they're not getting salmonella. and other foodborne illnesses. So they should be worried about that. Because I'm sorry, I cannot picture my people twerking that hard to fall over.
If I could address that for a second, I agree. I agree. I'm not gonna lie. You hit me in the gut just then of laughter, and I apologize.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Them banning it don't make them prestigious. I agree that people have gotten sick, and I agree with that. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm against, right? I told you I'm against quote unquote socially engineered Black culture. And that's my target. It ain't really Carnival Cruise as an institution. I don't care about that. They boats can, if no long as none of us are on them, they can leave America and never come back. I don't care. That's their business. But anything that gets rid of the negative stereotypes about us, I am for, and I don't care how it's done.
Absolutely.
I remember at one point in time, I think it was I can't think of the gentleman. He went over to the World's Fair in Europe and he opened up the Negro display and he showed us as inventors and Negro families here in the United States. And he showed us as inventors and writers and poets and all these, wonderful things. And the Europeans didn't even know that. They were reading and studying this, this display this Negro did over in the European fair during it's a long time ago he did that. And they didn't get to see any of that about us. So their understanding about us changed. And ultimately, that's what I would want, whether it be hip hop, whether it be any spiritual movement. We don't control the narrative. That's what I'm against hip hop about. That's what I'm against rap about.
Exactly.
Is that the image about us is controlled by someone else. People who don't look like us controls the image. So that's what it says to me about Carnival Cruise is that somebody else is controlling the image. And if that's what it took to ban that music, ban it. I don't care about the rest of it. I'm not investing in the Carnival Cruise. I don't care about going out there with them because I can't. And I'm proud of that. Not a merman. But whatever it takes to get rid of that negative image, and like I said, it starts inside the home. Whatever it takes. I live in a town where most of us are married to them. When me and my wife go out, we look like unicorns. People are looking at me, brothers are looking at me like, man, you better get it in the house. You better get one of these baggies, brother, and you better hurry up. And some of these dudes is with our sisters, and they're like, hey, they looking at my wife like she's a part of their fetish. But yet we stand strong together to present this strong Negro family with these children, and we ourselves well, and we're not out here doing anything in the streets that's crazy. Nobody has, as I told my daughter, nobody has an accusation against me. My boots ain't under nobody's bed, and it ain't sitting under somebody else's table. Nobody got an accusation against me. I look like a faithful husband to the world. I look like a man who goes and chills with his wife. I look like a father. So as an individual, we need to control that narrative. We need to control it. It shouldn't be in the hands of industry in no type of way. They can ban all of Black culture in every industry in the world, and I'll be satisfied, and we can start back over from zero because that's what we need as individuals.
Absolutely. And yes, absolutely, brother. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off a servant of Yah. Nobody ain't coming to save us, y'all.
Yeah.
Nobody is coming to save us. We got to save ourselves. And I
Absolutely.
say we gotta get back like how our ancestors were. They had complete control of their households and over their families and over their children. And the men was protecting and managing his own household. We just got to take our families back, take our homes back, and get back to molding our children's minds and conditioning them into the mind of righteousness and not becoming followers to what everybody else is out there doing. We got to get back
Absolutely.
to that.
Yes,
That's what I said.
absolutely.
We got to get back to that. But we're gonna
We
bring the
do.
panel to a close. And before we close out, I know we got two hip hop artists on the panel right now. That is brother Leroy and brother was it David? I wanna play a sample, a snippet
Brother
of their
Ron
tracks
and
on the way
brother
out.
Ron. Brother
Yeah,
Ron too.
we
Hakeem
gonna
Bey.
close out with listening to their tracks.
Hold on.
You all cool with that?
I didn't know it was gonna happen.
Yeah, cool.
And then we're gonna let everybody else do a summary before we close out. 2 minutes.
Are
2
you gonna
minutes,
play the
y'all.
clips first, or you the summaries first?
I think we should. Well, what do you think, sis?
Y'all want to hear the clips first, or y'all want to give y'all summaries?
I'd rather for you to play the clips and then we can get a summary.
All
Okay,
right, well,
play the
let's do
clips.
that. Okay.
Let me go. Let me go. Yo.
All the steam. That was Brother Leroy, y'all.
All right, all right, all right.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
I like, I like, I
I
like,
That was
love
I like.
fine.
it.
That was
I
fine.
didn't
Excellent.
know I was gonna be put on the spot like that, so I was kind of
It's good. You
You know,
amongst your people, brother. We should be the ones who listen to it first. So that's nice, brother. Real
That's
nice.
right. That's what this show is all about.
so
Now
that.
we get ready to shout out our brother David, aka Raoul, the conscious hip hop artist.
which one is that?
That's brother David with the lion picture.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh yeah. All this time we've been wondering who and what we are. Little did we know that our inner being was that bright and shining star. Let's get it. Supreme creation. Yeah. Let's get it. Come on. Raw. Ooh. Yeah. Like this. We in the building. Supreme creation. We build a nation. Real love. That's that dedication. 2022, I'm on they neck like a tattoo. Hit her with that King Los, what you wanna do? Outline, I'm raw with it, don't worry about it, I go get it. No time for perfection in the plate like collection. Every time that I'm grinding, guess what? Resurrection. I got that SSA9 energy. You better goddamn know it, better goddamn grow it, better goddamn show it. You watching all the drama thinking that it's real. I'm focused on the back cause that's a better deal. Paid a lot of money, made my son a triple threat. He said I don't want it, I ain't ready yet. Put it all on me now, I'm a triple threat. Bet it all on me cause I'm a triple bet. I'm in the 13th house, flipping stocks in and out. All the options on the table so you can shut your mouth. Some people don't like me cause we not the same. We are not the same cause we are not the same. Too much traffic so I built my own lane. Iron sharpen iron, I don't play that game. Raoub is my spirit, you gon' know my name. Raoub is my spirit, you gon' know my name. Hey, I'ma let you know something. If we ain't out here building together, then we ain't out here doing nothing together. You heard me? You wanna be out here on all that drama, get what? You can be on that drama. I'm gonna be out here getting that bread. You heard what I said? I'm gonna be out here getting that bread. Raoub in the building, build with me. Hey, I wanna give a shout out to the 13th Trap House, teaching them stock options. I wanna give a shout out to the House of Ancient Magic. You feel me? We out here building, baby. Rock with me. Yeah, I can't leave out South Kakalaka where I was born, but I was raised in the 904, that dirty Duval, the bottom. You feel me? That's what made me the man that I am today. You better know.
I figured that was Florida music.
You could tell.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
ain't seen Luke Skywalker out there. You ain't seen no booty shaking. What you mean that was Florida music? What you mean?
But no. I'm from Florida, so I know that I know the beat.
Yeah. Who else on here is a hip hop artist?
Oh no.
All right, all right. Okay, I guess we're gonna get ready to close out.
Oh, Ronnie, he left. That was King Bay. He also is an artist. I put his music in the
Oh, King Bay. Okay.
I guess something happened with his phone.
Okay, just a second, y'all.
I like that.
And that was King Travelite on that beat.
Okay.
And I think he originally from Georgia.
This is Minnesota music.
Clear and present danger. If life is a movie, then this is the cliffhanger. It's a remake of an old school classic called A New World Order. Now I'm older, it puts a new spin on it. Spoiler alert, everybody's in on it. The government, everybody's in on it. Doctors and them lawyers, everybody's in on it. Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Dolce Gabbana, his baby mama and her mama, everybody's in on it. The Pentagon, UN, and Trilateral Commission, you name it, everybody's in on it. The CIA, man, everybody's in on it. NCAA, everybody's in on it. NAACP, and your PTA, capiche? Everybody's in on it. 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 Everybody's in on it.
You're listening to Soul Hub.
Okay.
All esteem. I love everybody's content. I love it.
Y'all gotta hit me up for some video editing, you artists.
Y'all hear that?
What happened?
I said these artists can hit me up for video editing. That's what I do. I do a lot of music videos too.
Oh, right on.
All right, you all. I guess we can go ahead and start closing out.
Okay, so then first up is serving a y'all.
I would say that my final thoughts is everything that's been given to us as a people is just a means to divide us. So hip hop, rap, whatever you want to call it, it's a means to divide the man against the woman. It's a means to to look at each other as Sister D.I. Plant said that the elders are the ones who are older against the ones that's younger. So I think that within our households, within ourselves, we need to recognize the traps that's set before us, start calling it out within our homes, within ourselves, so we can notice what these things are. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Even in some of the most worldliest songs, you may hear a nugget, and pay attention to those things that uplift and build. I'm not saying, go out there and get to go into the club to try to find wisdom, but I am saying that if, don't throw your people away is what I'm saying. Do everything to uplift, to build, um, because it's we come from a place, and most of the times, um, well, not even most of the time, as a people, we've lost ourselves in this system that we live in today. So sometimes have empathy, have sympathy, have mercy, learn to pray for others, especially of your own people. Uh, be that positive light that's in this world because it's so negative out here. Be you as the person, be that positive light in the world. And don't wait on others or some industry to try to turn around and make us positive. The industry work. The school is used to miseducate. The industry, the music industry, is used to divide. It's working like they created it to do. So what is the individual going to do about it? What are you, the person, is going to what are you going to bring to the table to help restore what's been broken? Um, and that's all I got, man. I love y'all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Next we have Big Weeble.
I just want to say that I think this is a productive conversation because we identified, several things regarding how it started, what it has become. We identified, the problem, and we collectively identified the solution is in us in individual households. Because I got to follow that cab Brother Trey put out there. Great men make great homes. Great homes make great neighborhoods. Great neighborhoods make great cities, and so on and so forth. So we do have to start individually if we want to see anything change. I agree with Brother Trey. You can't change the world, but you can change your house. And if you can change your house, you can change your neighbor's house. And sooner or later, y'all can change y'all block. So I think these type of conversations were necessary and needed, and I think it was productive. And thanks for the invite, and looking forward to the next one. Shalom.
Thank you so much. Next we have Ron.
Uh, well, that's just what my phone says or whatever. But I go by the name of King Bay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
Go
I
ahead.
just I appreciate you guys letting me in. Yeah, we have to stop trying to understand, and we have to begin to overstand and understand. Like everyone has said, it starts in the beginning, in the home. It starts in your heart, in your gut. It starts in you. So I appreciate that. I totally understand that. We need to build more communities and build more products and services, and we really need to figure out how to create a blueprint for separation because we need to get out of this predicament. We were led into this predicament by our forefathers, our mothers and grandmothers, and now it's time for us to uh, leave. Exodus. We have found out that Harriet Tubman, that's not her name. Sojourner Truth, that's not her name. They were spies and all this and that. Now the knowledge is in our palms. There's no need for us to be ignorant anymore. So we need to continue this dialogue, create a bigger community. We need to come with financial strategies to begin to free ourselves from this mental slavery that we have been put in. William Lynch speech, the William Lynch hip hop is what we're living under right now, and we need to free ourselves from that. So thank you for allowing me to listen to you guys and be in the community, and I just appreciate the opportunity. And I love you guys, man. Let's do more, do better.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much. We appreciate you. Um, the plant lady, give us your final thoughts.
My final thoughts on this is that this was a great topic, and that we need to have more of these dialogues within our homes and with the communities that we do um, that we are involved in, and starting in our homes and having these discussions with our children, and where they know that um, this music is no good for us as a culture, and us as leaders, as that we just plant seeds of change in our communities, and do it with grace and do it with dignity, and that we just work together as a collective to change our neighborhoods and our communities, one block, one street at a time.
Thank you so much for that. And then I have David.
Right, greetings, greetings. Um, I like the fact that all the artists on there today, the message in your work and how you are reaching people, because the onus is on us as artists. I'm thankful to the Most High that I'm able to operate in a lot of capacities. You know, I do stand up comedy, I do acting, and the latest edition was the conscious hip hop. And I realized the Most High probably was like, the reason I didn't allow you to do this as a teenager or young adult, the reason why you wasn't rejected was because I need to use you for my purpose. I need you when I do allow you to do it. I don't need you to have to be desperate and compromising. And I need you to know your alchemy. I got a song, Figgity 444, Let My Mind Go, All Power Go to Me. Even the research that I have to do to go into a song. It's not just to do a craft, but to master a craft and honor it and respect it. A lot of us, we just do stuff to say, yo, I'm doing this, I can do this. And that gets to be a little egotistical. But even as an artist starting at 48, I've been told you need to quit, you old, you slow, stop. So now the mirror reflects on me. Like, have I been delivered from people? Is my purpose and my mission more important than the human judgment that I'm getting? Right? And so every time I stay in the race of self, and live my purpose, I always come out with the win. It don't feel good when you're in that fire, but if you know that you're gonna be refined and shaped, and when you get on the other side, how good you're gonna look. If most people focus on that, they be so focused on the muck and the mire, they don't look at the other side of the equation. So, I'm happy to be on this journey. I'm happy that we all were dropping gems. I'm thankful for the historians that were in this room today talking about hip hop, how it originated, breaking down rap. See, we need more of that explanation. And then sooner or later, the heavenly melanated beings are going to overstand, and their frequency and their vibration is going to align to what you create. They said if you build it, they will come. Oh, that I got a Reverend Pineal Gland character too, so sometimes some of that come in. I don't want to go too long, but I'm happy that you all had this platform, because not only are you introducing people to new concepts and new perspectives, you're also inspiring someone who maybe wanted to quit and wanted to give up and was looking at the numbers, and the masses not going to come and flock to the ones that are really building and creating life. It's going to be a slow, steady journey. But when the Most High do put that fluid, that lighter fluid on you, it's gonna be like a twinkling of an eye. So I like what we did on the platform. And in closing, because I do a ton of research. They said the reason why they started this streaming is because when the internet came out, artists learned how to make music and sell it in the weekend and make more money than people was making in a year. Because you can sell direct to consumer. You don't need nobody to validate you. You can print your own CDs, your own thumb drives, your own everything, and get out there out the trunk like Master P them did back in the day. And you could do the tri-state. Oh, I'm giving out some game, but sometimes you know how that goes. Anything you want to be done, you can do it. You write your own story and you make your own movie. When you commit to yourself and what the creator created you to do, can't nothing stop you but you. And it's up to us to teach that to ourselves, to our family, and then to the neighborhood and the block, just like them other people were saying just before me. We need to reiterate that. And if enough of us get on a frequency and vibration, guess what? We're going to shake the world. Not only are we going to shake the world, but we're going to shape and mold the world. So I'm just grateful, and I say extreme gratitude for you all and this platform and for this opportunity to speak. This Raul out.
Thank you, sir. And last but not least, we have Sister Ola.
Okay, sorry, my phone been acting crazy. Once again, thank you all for inviting us. I didn't say very much because hip hop is not really my forte. I listen to it, but it's not my craft. I'm more into comedy. So I thank Brother David for his music, Brother Hakeem Bey. Thank you, sisters, for allowing my brother New York curriculum music to be played on this platform. And like all of us have said the same thing, it needs to be changed. We know the power that we have in our tongues, what resides in our brain, because we are the most high chosen people. So anything we do, it can go to the highest of the high or it can go to the lowest of the low. So I think now it's time for us to stop living on the low vibration and get on the high vibration. We're the most influential people that ever walked on the face of this earth.
Absolutely.
There is no earth without us. There is no so-called United States without us. And ironically, the music that my brother puts out, he gets more fandom from people overseas than here on the soil that he was born at. So that lets you know whatever we are dealing with on this continent, on this particular continent, on this land that's been saturated with the blood and so many people, is that we allow this. So we can change ebonics every 2 or 3 months. If we can come up with boots on the ground at home, sit in front of the TV and say, I'm gonna put some cowboy boots on, I'm gonna dance. If we can come up with over 1,500 different inventions that are still being used today in different nations, I think we can come with a solution of unification of our people and change and breaking these generational curses. And that I yield.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, we are very grateful for everyone who joined us. This was a very awesome and wonderful, very informative and conversation. We appreciate you guys for giving us your precious time this evening. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sister Rafaela to close us out.
Oh, Salaki, everybody. Um, we thank you all for your time and all the gems you dropped and all the wisdom you shared with us. And don't forget to go into the chat and subscribe to the YouTube channels of the artists. Give them some support and some love. And also, I published a book. It's on Amazon and it's also on my website, www.truesoultraditions.com. It's called The Little Book of the Ancient Prayer Codes. I have a book signing coming up on August the 16th in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm going to drop the flyer in the chat as well. And also, don't forget that Sister Ada does media editing. You have any projects, hit her up. Follow us on social media. Follow the Royal Meetup on Facebook. Um, like and join us on this so that way you can keep up with what we have going on. Um, Also, if you all have any title ideas for us to discuss, also share that with Princess Ada or I. Okay. Anything dropping your spirit we need to talk about, let us know. And we can support you on anything that you have going on. Let us know about that as well. So we can support you all. Okay. We're gonna ask one of the brothers to pray us out. If anybody else have anything else left to say. Brother Raul, brother.
Elder
Okay.
Demetrius, it got to be Elder Demetrius.
Oh man, I came on here with my nickname. You done throwed me out there.
No, you can't run from that. You ain't running from that. You know who you is.
Hey.
All right. Hold on, let me put a shirt on. Oh my goodness. I was finna turn my toes to the ceiling and call me out to pray. All right. Just a second, y'all.
On the steam.
All right, all right. I had to get myself straight in this truck stop. All right.
This is a
All
beautiful
right.
talk panel.
All right. Y'all ready? Let's
Yes, sir.
I'll close this on. All right. Abba, Yah, we thank you for this day. We thank you for bringing us together on this panel to discuss things going on in some of the different areas that we are scattered in. We thank you for the brethren. We thank you for the sistering. We thank you for the respect that we all have for each other. We thank you for allowing us to identify the issues and identify the solutions and how we should go about addressing them to restore and rebuild what is us, Heavenly Father. We thank you for that. We thank you for everyone on this panel. We look forward to you keeping us in your grasp of grace till we do something like this again. In Yeshua's mighty name, we all pray. So be it. Selah. Hallelujah.
So be it.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So be it.
So,
Shalom.
Hey, I appreciate
Everyone have
y'all.
a best
Much
We
love.
appreciate you. We appreciate you too, brother. Thank you for the wisdom.
Yeah,
Right
y'all
on,
come
right
back
on. I
anytime.
appreciate y'all ladies, man.
Indeed, indeed.
Right.
And Sister
Y'all have a good
Tangia,
one.
Sister Tangia is a farmer, you all. So you all need advice or some tips on how to grow your own food and vegetables. Hit this sister up. Her name is Tammy
Definitely.
Taylor on social media.
The plant
Look
lady
now,
on
Tammy,
TikTok.
The
it's Tammy
plant
Taylor
lady.
on it's Tammy Taylor on Facebook, and it's the Plant Lady DI Plant Lady
Mhm.
on TikTok.
Yes. And
So,
wait, hold on. Wait, hold on now. I'm not on anything.
okay,
So
well you can hold on. You can email me at DI. Hold on, I put it in the chat. And if you need any advice on how to be sustainable, we're starting a gardening club for our children here, so we can um, inform them on how to be sustainable, how to grow their own foods, and also um, agribusiness, teaching our kids how to um, the importance of being entrepreneurs, not only in what they say that we're supposed to be entrepreneurs in, teaching them math in the garden, teaching them art in the garden, music in the garden, how to relate their life to the garden, how to um, understanding the benefits of children gardening and being compassionate, giving back to Mother Earth, connecting with Mother Earth because we're so disconnected. How to um, you know, boosting their immune system, not only children, but adults as well, because we all have disconnected from Mother Earth and we need to reconnect with her and love on her just as well as she love on us, and teaching them environmental health, teaching them the way traditional ways, back to our traditional ways. So we had a back to the roots. So I have a back to the roots segment where teaching them how to recycle, teaching them how to plant, teaching them the different parts of the plants and relating it to their own life. And if you could take care of a plant, speak life into that plant, we have to speak life into our children. So it's all about planting seeds of change.
Right.
Okay.
All praises. And Sister Yadoa sells Mary Kay. And I think she also shared a link where you could purchase her products. If you have a wife, and you know your wife needs some
Oh, I,
lipstick.
I I didn't share my link, but I think let me try. Forget Salaki sister. Also,
Okay.
I also work alongside with my beautiful sister Tangia.
Okay.
She helped
Yeah.
me start my nonprofit here in the state of Minnesota, which is Warm Hands, Warm Hearts Minnesota, where we're geared toward helping families with children who are on the spectrum,
All praises.
our Black children. This
Beautiful.
wonderful sister Sangia did some wonderful things about how she incorporate gardening, how it helps soothe children who are on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't. She's so humble. She didn't talk about this wonderful summer camp she just did in Louisiana, where she had babies from 5 to their little early teens. She was teaching these children how to eat
Beautiful.
properly and stop childhood diabetes and high blood pressure. So the sister's so humble. I just want to give my sister
Beautiful.
so much love because she's breaking them generational curses, one carrot, one potato, one green at a time. So I
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. All
I, I,
praises.
I want to thank you all, my sisters, for all y'all support and just giving me the motivation to step out on faith.
All
Um,
praises.
because it was a many days I wanted to give up,
Mm-hmm.
and just because of the stigma, because of um the backlash that you get, the
Mm-hmm.
pushback that you get in the community, because I'm in one of those states where um that it's hard. You're peeling these people one layer at a time like an
Mm-hmm.
onion, and
Mm-hmm.
each layer that you peel back, they're giving you tears because
All
they're
praises.
so conditioned and they're so caught up in their ways. And Louisiana is one of the most unhealthiest states, and not only with obesity, but obesity, also childhood diabetes, diabetes, and in adults, high blood pressure in children, high blood pressure in adults. So it's all and being able to see these children from day 1 to day 5 of how their mindsets, how eating health, I'm not going to say eating healthy, eating clean can change your mindset, change your mood, change the way you think. And this is what we have to incorporate in our schools where we're allowing our kids in the public school system. And some of these kids are going to school going to school hungry. And so they're not able to think because their minds are not fueled. And we taught them that 6 meals a day, breakfast and snacks in between lunch and dinner and snacks in between those meals, because we do, just like a car goes on empty and it runs out of gas, it's not able to run. So these kids wasn't able to they weren't able to think, they wasn't able to grasp the information that you're giving them because their little minds are so they jaded. And seeing them go through the process of eating healthy and seeing them happy, seeing them take the chance to eat raw vegetables and raw fruits and drinking. And when you're going into these communities and you have community leaders and they're having events and all you're seeing is chips, juice, candy, and things like that, I wanted to come in and change the concept of I will provide the food. And when I can say that my sponsors and my donors and you know my sisters who had my back on this, who contributed to making this happen, people really started showing up and showing out because they started seeing like, dang, she taking the worst of the worst. And in 5 days, what can she do in 5 more days? And I had a little, at the end, I was able to bring fathers and mothers together to come see what their children had been doing. And you had some parents that didn't show up, and then you understood why their children are acting the way that they're acting, because you're not, first of all, you're not nourishing them. You're not feeding, you're not giving them life. You're not breathing life into them, which plants need: air, sun, water, sun, water, and nourishing. And when you don't give that to your plant, what they do, they wither away. And so these kids, this is what we have in our inner cities, in our outer cities, because parents are not taking the time to nourish their gardens. And a lot of weeds came in with these children. So we had to weed them out. We had to pluck the weeds. We had to fertilize them and giving them nutrition meals every day. You seen the change. And if I don't think, if I wasn't walking with the Most High, I think I would have gave up on day 1 and said, bump this ain't for me. But it gave me strength, it gave me wisdom, it gave me more patience, and it gave me, as a woman of God, I'm able to be a better mother, not only to my children, but I'm able to be a better mother to the communities that I touch.
Okay.
Indeed. All right.
I appreciate that. And you said that you can be contacted for gardening tips. Is that
Absolutely?
All right.
Absolutely.
I just grew some purple bell peppers.
Yes, sir.
I feel excited about this. I never grew nor tasted a purple bell pepper, but I'm about to get down. With it down. All right.
Okay.
So
Are you growing this? Are you growing this in a container?
No, I have 3 raised beds, some tires for my cantaloupe, and I have containers or pots for some of the peppers. The more I guess the habaneros and the reapers. That's why he's into that crap. I'm not trying to kill myself eating a pepper, but I also have these things called earth boxes. this kind of self-gardening, self-watering systems also. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm while she's out in Maryland, I've been working a job in the garden every day. I just pruned some tomato plants and some zucchini, and I got some long neck squash and okra and basil and cucumbers growing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of my neighbors pass by. It's sometimes it feels good. I'm not gonna lie. It does feel good when people pass by. Like, I like your garden. I'm like, all right, then, just working by the sweat of my brow. I'm trying. I try to be humble, but yeah.
But keep it up because once they see your garden, then you're planting seeds of change in your community. Then everybody going to jump on that movement of, hey, I need to grow as well. Start small, and then each season just add a little bit more to your garden. It's just like you take care of your daughters. You take care of your garden the same way.
Right on. Right on. I appreciate that, man. I'll take your advice, and I will contact. I really appreciate that. I really need it to
Right.
understand things.
And I have some farming a farming book where it can help you with if any of y'all are interested in doing raised bed garden. Just make sure that we all naturalists on here, so just keep all your food scraps, save all your and feed that back to your garden. No pesticides. Nowadays you really do, brother, you want to get you a something to cover your crops because the sprays that they're doing in our neighborhoods, I don't know if that is affecting your neighborhood, but it's affecting ours where they're coming in and spraying in our neighborhoods, these adjudicated properties and things like that. So, you just want to be mindful that if we're going to go chemical free, you want to cover your crops as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right on, sister. Could you give me the book? If you don't mind, please. I apologize. I know you're trying to close, but you said you got a book, a farming book. You got the name of it?
You on mute, sister.
I have a farming book where I can share some ideas of how to do your raised bed gardens and things like that. And I
Okay.
have some books that I can recommend to you. And since you're not on social media, I can recommend you some books as well.
All right. I'll contact you by email. I appreciate it, sister.
You're very welcome, sir.
All right. All right. Okay. I guess one of the brothers can close us out.
Elder Demetrius already prayed us out. We just still on.
Okay.
Oh, we just talking, sister.
Okay.
We just still on. Yeah, he did his job. We just chopping it up. I appreciate it though.
Okay.
I got to go to work tonight anyway, so
And he laughing at me.
yeah.
Oh yeah, look, y'all please can spread the word too, because we got a lot of Hebrew feast days and things coming up. Let you
Yeah.
folks know that Sister Ada doesn't just do media. I am a seamstress, and I do specialize in cultural and African attire.
I'm 1,000% positive that my wife will be contacting each and every one of you. If you have any gift, we support our Negro businesses with dollars because there's an economy behind us as a people also. So we do support it with dollars and we do support it by word of mouth. And even if we got to collect it from others to give it to you in order to be, because I'm not on anything, not just social media, but I don't have nothing. And that's a good thing. I try to keep my world small as a man because there's too many attacks out there. So
yeah,
my world small. But however I can support y'all, I will reach out and do so. Just give me time, and I will be contacting those by email. But I appreciate your services and I appreciate the platform, sisters, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you. All praises. Yeah, definitely feel free to contact us as well.
Right on. And sister, you said that you in the South, right?
Yes, I'm actually located in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay. I'm from the coast of Mississippi. I'm born and raised from where Biloxi and Gulfport is. I'm from Pascagoula. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm originally from Florida, so I moved out here. I walk by faith, and I've been out here, and I'm just doing the work, just being a good steward of the Most High.
I can see it. I can see the passion in you, sister. I appreciate it, especially with the kids.
Indeed.
Yeah. But I'll holler at y'all, man. Y'all be safe.
All right. Y'all have a good night. Peace
You
and blessings.
too.
Everyone.
All right, peace and
The
blessings.
royal is a meter. The royal is a meter. The royal is a meter. Top panel podcast. The royal is a meter. The royal is a meter. The royal is a meter. Top panel podcast.